You what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
In a house in Omaha, people gather in the kitchen. They don't talk about school and work. They talk about doctors and surgeries. They're the families of Ronald McDonald House Charities in Omaha. And the kitchen is where they come together to share the struggles their children are facing. For these families, it's the little things like a home-cooked meal, even while far from home, that make the biggest difference. Volunteer to prepare a meal by visiting rmhcomaha.org.
The Blue Jay Zone is brought to you by Barry Law. We're in it to win it. While many might use a holiday break for rest and relaxation, Creighton forward Arthur Kaluma wanted to use the time to rededicate himself to the game.
Relax? I don't know about that. I wasn't really too impressed with how I was playing at the first start of the season. So I really took the time to try to get in the gym and, get my stamina back up. And I've been feeling good, I've been feeling good playing with my teammates, seeing how everything's coming together.
Winning comes without a guarantee. Focus, discipline, and extraordinary effort make winning more likely. Sometimes our greatest wins come from major setbacks. Coming back from a serious injury is a win that requires teamwork. At Barry Law, we're in it to win it.
If you have been seriously injured in an accident, call Barry Law today. 402-999-7777.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
A crossover is
crossover dribble.
For the crossover.
Kyrie Irving, crossover in the lane.
One of the most famous crossovers of all time.
Behind the back, an ankle breaker on Chris Paul.
Crossover.
Double crossover.
The crossover continues to evolve.
All right, time for the crossover. Get it in. You got 55 minutes of terrestrial radio. So get all your takes out there pretty quick.
Start the countdown. JJ Watt sucks.
How could
got that one in?
Now, have you not seen the videos at the last Hard
the videos
Oh.
where he's squeezing his eyes together so hard, clearly trying to force some tears? Yes, I have seen that video.
You know what's going to happen here shortly? Is JJ Watt's going to be the keynote speaker at the Team Jack Foundation. And the people at Team Jack are going to reach out to Josh to say, hey, do you want JJ Watt?
Yeah.
And all the other radio stations in Nebraska are like, oh, yeah. Can he be in person? Josh is going to be like, nah, we're good.
Yeah, what's going to happen?
Josh, how would that conversation go?
Yeah. Do you have any active players?
If you had to reach out, say if you had to reach out to JJ Watt, it was encouraged by upper management that you reach out to JJ Watt and get him on. How would that conversation go?
Excuse me, Mr. Watt, I understand you're not the best football player in your own family, but I would be interested in maybe having a conversation on the radio where you could promote your various, dealings, which we all know is your favorite thing to do.
I would gladly be your hype man for that too.
Thank you.
Gladly. And just for good measure in the background, you could have Know the Name just blaring because he also gets jacked to that and flips tires to that song. So just do that.
I would like you to ask a couple questions. What would you ask?
Why are you the way that you are?
Why are you the way you are? What's the best method for chopping wood? Because it isn't as easy as it looks. Like you think,
the first time you flipped a tire, were you able to get full extension, or did that take a while?
Been like a daily bit.
I mean,
and it's not really a bit because it's
it comes from a real place.
Yeah. Now I heard Josh talking about this a couple shows ago. I was listening to you guys, and it
takedown.
It caught a nerve. I was immediately connected to Josh right there because I have also felt the exact same thing about you guys want to see how hard I work. Mm-hmm. You want to see how much wood I can chop.
It's just this social media team just doing their job, Josh.
But you want to see how fast I can chug a protein shake while listening to Remember the Name?
But it's the combination of for what? For what? It has accomplished him a lot as an individual, but nothing as a winner.
Well, they thought they were going to win at Arrowhead, and then reality hit them.
That was a fun quarter and a half.
That was harsh.
That was,
and then M's pub burned to the ground. It was the same day, right?
No.
That was a different Chiefs Texans playoff game.
Why would you connect?
Yeah, how did you know it was a Chiefs Texans game?
I was working at a radio station, watching a Chiefs Texans playoff game. Yeah,
well, that's coming over the.
Well, the
January of 2016. Yeah, I think that was earlier. I think that was earlier than that playoff game.
Because the day that M's pub burned, I was doing a basketball game at South Dakota.
Okay.
And I was seeing on Twitter that downtown Omaha was on fire.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's not convenient.
Yeah, that was it was 4 years later. The Chiefs Texans comeback.
So
time is a flat circle.
The ice castle that
when Deshaun Watson was looking like Deshaun Watson.
He was incredible for the first 22
then,
minutes.
Yeah.
And then there was the trick play and a special teams play, and then reality kicked in.
How do you feel that your team has basically, at least pretty much a direct ticket to at least the AFC Championship game?
I don't want to play the Chargers. Chiefs always have trouble with the Chargers. Always.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Chargers are the most insane team in football. They've never played a normal game before.
I know.
And I can't. That's why I can't wait for this weekend when those two teams get together. The Jags. What is going to happen in that game?
See, I think Jacksonville with Doug Peterson, because Staley is a first-year coach. Herbert, first time in the playoffs. They forget about Mike Eckler, which is crazy. I wouldn't be. See, that's the game. I would not be surprised if Jacksonville wins.
No, I wouldn't either.
And Jacksonville's not a bad team. And remember, they've already beaten the Chargers earlier in the year. They hammered them.
Yeah, the Jags are still. The numbers come down a little bit, but they're still favorites.
And to go another week where people are talking about what a disaster Urban Meyer was.
Oh no, they're not. I'm sorry. The Chargers are 2.5-point favorites now. Wow.
Yeah, still think Jags win.
Yeah, I think I'll take the Jags this weekend.
Why we not? Are on Team Duval.
Yeah, Duval.
If the Jags win, you might see a vacancy there in LA.
You might have to either way. I mean, he's bad, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a bad coach.
Yeah.
Makes bad decisions.
But they have a really good quarterback.
It's going to get people killed.
They've had
guys playing in week 18.
Now they've had some key injuries this year, but beside the point, they have a really good roster. I mean, they're always the team that teases you that the Chargers are going to break through, and they actually were my pick to make the Super Bowl against the Packers.
Yeah, they were a sexy pick in the preseason.
In July, I was excited about my Charger Packer.
Well, that was the whole discussion, like who's going to be the next best team in the AFC West. Actually, it was closer to like what's going to happen in the AFC West, because people were like, I don't know about the Chiefs.
Well, and then with Russell Wilson in Denver, there was that excitement.
Right.
The Raiders seemed to kind of be
Devontae Adams.
Yeah, Devontae. Carrs finally gets unlocked.
At the end of July, the Chiefs were plus money
to win their division.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And they won it they won 14 games.
Yeah.
And they running away.
Wow.
Yep. I thought they'd win 12 and the Chargers would win 13. I'm okay with 14.
Yeah, I think you take 14.
I'm not going to give it back.
Take 14. Are you going to Atlanta for the potential AFC title game?
I thought about it because there is a direct flight that leaves. Well, because they made that game the late afternoon game. There's not a flight that would get you back for.
So
Monday morning.
Where would you be on Saturday? Here or somewhere else in the
well, we'd be in Tulsa. So I looked from Tulsa.
From Tulsa.
Tulsa in here. But Tulsa doesn't fly direct many places.
Well,
Tulsa is a weird city. It's a large city, but not large enough. Like if you want to fly, you get a bunch of direct flights. Like to fly from Omaha to Tulsa, you got to go through Dallas.
Oh,
or you got to go through Houston.
Yeah, you can't fly to Tulsa.
Which is always mind-boggling, because have all of us been on a trip where you've flown like maybe Chicago to Omaha, and you fly to Denver, to fly back to Omaha?
Yeah, you go completely wrong direction.
I refuse. There's no amount of money that I would be able to save to make me do that. It's just a total waste of time.
It's dumb. It makes no sense.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not getting on that flight.
That's one of my favorite things on the series Tulsa King.
Yeah.
On Paramount Plus is they treat Tulsa as
How
if it
is-
were Broken Bow, Nebraska. I'm like, it's not that small of a town.
No, I like it. I get to go there once a year at least. It's a fairly good sized town. There's a lot to do. They built up their downtown. By the way, that show,
40,000
Yeah, how is
Tulsa
that?
King is really, really good.
Is it okay?
It's trashy fun.
Is it
like if you liked
That'd be
Sons of
the-
Anarchy?
that's a good way to
like,
describe it.
Yeah.
No, the promos definitely intrigue me. Just have not got into it yet.
They do this weird bit, and I have a suspicion that it's Sylvester Stallone on set going, "Hey guys, you know what would be funny?" And no one having the stones to tell him, "No, we're not doing that." Where like, hey, what's this Bitcoin? Hey, Bitcoin, it's not real money. You can't spend it. And
I like that. Just let him go with it.
just what's the internet? Social media? I don't know the social media.
It's pretty good. That's
You're
pretty damn good.
a Sly Stallone guy. Though.
I am.
You're all the way in.
Demolition Man.
Yeah, it's-
Great piece of cinema.
It's too
over-
late now.
Over the Top is
Yeah.
not discussed enough, and yet Tango and Cash still one of the best good cop, bad cop.
Over
tandems.
the Top was an answer on Jeopardy this week.
Was
Whoa!
it? Well, wait, how is it?
It was a category of we will give you the movie, you name what
Yeah.
sport the
Oh,
movie
okay.
is, and it was
Did-
over the top, and it was
Did they talk
arm
about
wrestling. What is arm wrestling?
Oh, I was okay. Yeah, there it goes.
So, I'm with you on the Tulsa description, and I like the show. Thinking of shows that got so much hype that you were forced to at least watch it.
Yellowstone.
As a fan of Yellowstone, I will agree with you.
That's one for a lot of people where they're like,
Mhm.
"Gosh, everybody's just talking about
So,
this thing."
you know, one, and I didn't like it, and I'm sure I'm in the minority, is X-Files.
I never
They
watched
hyped
it.
the heck out of
They did.
X-Files.
Yeah, never got into
And
it.
I watched it, and I was like, not for me.
I liked it.
Never saw it. Never watched it.
I think you're making a wise choice there.
Yeah,
You got better things to do in your life.
I do.
For
I really do.
Stranger Things for us.
Oh yeah. See,
Stranger Things.
I stayed away.
Everybody was talking about it. I had zero expectations. Probably why I ended up enjoying it. But oh man, it was just like, oh yeah, what? Stranger Things. It was everywhere. So okay, didn't really have any real desire, but felt like we were missing out on
The
something.
next one that's coming that I'll probably have to watch is the White Lotus.
Yes, the Odson
It's good.
household is about that close. I'm tired of seeing it win literally every single award. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I got to find out what this is all about.
I'll give my wife credit on that one. She just said, I really want to watch this. I'm like, all right, cool, let's watch it. And I got into it.
Yeah, so
I
you're gonna
knew
be
nothing
forced to
about it.
watch 'cause
I
everybody's
wasn't
talking about it.
She might have been. I knew nothing about it. So I'm like, whatever. Your
I mean,
choice.
I tried to attempt to watch Game of Thrones because everybody talks
me
about
too.
it. Yeah, not for me.
Well, we've also
You and me
passed it
both.
now. Like people aren't talking about it anymore, so
Yeah.
you're good.
You and me both. I got into a few episodes. Like, I'm not. It doesn't have me coming back.
That's the beauty of like Sunday night TV is there are some like great all-time shows that have aired on Sunday that if you're not watching them, when you go to work on Monday and everybody's talking about them, and you're like,
Yeah,
And
you
if
feel
you're not watching, you're screwed.
Yep.
You're just out.
Major
Then
FOMO.
what? HBO. What did HBO put on Sunday nights?
Everything?
Yeah.
Everything.
Sopranos, Entourage.
I mean, Mad Men used to air on Sunday nights, not on HBO, but
Succession.
Sex in the City, Succession. Yeah.
yeah.
What was Van Pelt doing with Game of Thrones? Remember, he would do like his Sunday night breakdown of it, like having not watched it, but just basically going off of all the comments on Twitter. And so he would just anticipate what happened. It was a really funny, like social media a little bit for him. And that's like kind of how I tried to like stay up to date with it.
Well, you could do. It's funny because you could do that like during the pandemic, when nothing was going on. We created a segment on my show called "What Did You Do Last Night?" So I just went around the table. So, what did you do last night?
Jeez.
Watch TV, and then it turned into a breakdown of a TV show.
Yeah.
I mean, remember when the Jordan doc came out?
Oh, that's all we had to do during COVID.
That was
sports.
That's like all we talked about.
Yeah.
Like when those episodes
It was
came
a
out.
dream for Sports Talk Radio. Now the question is, has anybody gone back and watched it again?
I haven't. I've wanted to though.
I did.
Yeah.
I've wanted to.
That's one of those where I know that I've missed stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That I just need to carve out time. because I don't want to watch it one by one.
Yeah.
I want to go through all 10.
I told my wife that she would enjoy it, and that's how I got to watch it a second time. That's because I kind of wanted to watch it a second time. I was like, why don't you watch this with me?
You know what that documentary did? It seemed like it opened up the door to players that he played with now telling Jordan stories.
Yeah.
Because you can't find a podcast with former NBA guys that will not center around their favorite Jordan story. And in the past, before that documentary, nobody said a word about their interaction with Jordan.
Yeah.
The only one who did was Barkley, and it burned him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It's opened up a whole new industry.
Yeah.
And now people are telling even like funny stories. Somebody the other day, Byron Scott was telling a story that when the Bulls and the Lakers were playing, Byron Scott was out of the lineup. And so Anthony Peeler, remember the Mizzou player, was going to start. And I guess Jordan and Byron Scott passed each other in the hallway. And Byron Scott said, I'm not playing. And he goes, who's playing? And he said, Peeler. And he goes, I'm going for 50. And so Byron Scott went up to Peeler and he said, don't make him mad. Don't talk to him. Don't say a word to him. And he goes, why? And he goes, just don't. And so Jordan went for 54.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like more and more guys, like Gary Payton the other day was telling a story about Jordan, like got into the deep words of, he F'd me and all this stuff.
I had no problem
with
with the glove. I had no problem with the glove. I had other stuff on my mind. That was the best moment of like the whole series. That was the best moment of the entire thing.
I love gambling stories about Michael Jordan where players are like, it's my first time playing cards with Michael Jordan. And he took me for more money than I earned that season, but I didn't care because I got invited to the card game.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you heard Jeremy Roenick's story?
Yes. This was a while ago now.
Yeah.
Just about playing golf?
Yeah, but it was a day of a Bulls playoff game.
That's right. Yeah.
And Roenick and Jordan are playing, and Roenick like wins a ton of money against Jordan for their 18 holes. And he said it was like what, noon?
Yeah.
1 o'clock in the afternoon, and they play at 7. And Jordan said, we're playing another 18.
I have not heard that story before, but it tracks with the other stories I've heard about Michael Jordan.
It sure does.
But I'm glad that like after that aired, now more people share stories about Jordan. He's still not, out and about, and he doesn't get interviewed.
It's actually better that other people are telling this. I almost don't want to hear him from Jordan. Like it's more mysterious and mythical when other people tell the stories because you're not sure whether to believe them or not.
Right. I sort of wouldn't trust him.
Right. Yeah. I don't know what's going on in that guy's head. He's obviously insane. Like in a good way. You know, he's Michael Jordan.
We all knew the flu game and we knew about the pizza delivered, but even that part of it was
subtle.
fun.
I ate the pizza. I ate the pizza. Nobody else ate the pizza.
I just that thing was it was good. I definitely want to make time to watch it again too, because that was appointment television during COVID.
Just go back for the shrugging usher.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Playing quarters.
Quarters, yeah.
It's my guy.
So somebody ended up tracking him down, or he had passed.
Yeah.
And they tracked his family down, and they ended up saying like, "Oh man, that was awesome."
Like all the stories like started to line up, and they're like, "Yeah, Jordan took care of him."
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
I got one for you guys. So how about so we watch the Big Ten conference tournaments each year, and the logo that they have on the floor with all of the colors of the teams and how sort of annoying it is, but the Big Ten's been attached to this forever and ever and ever. They have redesigned their Big Ten tournament logo.
Oh,
yes.
Is it like a farewell to Kevin Warren?
Maybe. I don't know.
Might have the years that he was commissioner.
A Big Ten conference unveils energized redesign of brand identity and logo.
That's exciting
for the Big Ten women's and men's basketball tournament.
Sweet.
It's like the outline of a basketball now, but they took all the colors off of it.
Oh, of course.
That's no.
Of course, why?
NCAA sanitized corporate logos.
It's all blue and white.
Yep.
So the women's tournament will be in Minneapolis this year, and the men's tournament will be back in Chicago.
Remember Super Bowl logos?
Oh,
yes.
They used to be so good.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're so bad. Same thing with World Series logos.
Yeah.
Or playoff logos on the sides of hats. Like they used to be so individualized and specific, and now it's just Here's what it is.
Oh, there's a little dash of color in it this year for the Super Bowl.
We've lost some character.
They phoenixed it up a little.
Okay, that's good. Some red, some orange.
Yeah, some teal.
And some teal.
Well, maybe the NCAA men's basketball tournament, like the Final Four, will take notice and be able to design the floors so they don't all look the same. Let you're in Houston. Let the floor look like Houston.
See, they threw a curveball in. I don't know when this restarted again. I guess a couple years ago. So they at one point they all looked exactly the same, and then they changed a couple of them. So the aprons or whatever would be orange or blue or red or whatever. So you could sort of tell the difference, but you still
okay, I'm in this city. I understand this is a different city than that last game.
And they put the host site logos on the baseline, which is sort of nice.
Now, speaking of floors, did you look at the new floor at Baxter Arena?
I did.
It's the skyline of Omaha.
It's lovely. Yes, it's a very sharp looking place. The lights are very bright in there.
Yeah, the floor being lighter makes it.
Yep.
Yeah. So okay.
I remember thinking that with PBA. PBA was when they installed that, when they had that first floor, it was dark. It was just dark, straight up dark in there.
So I know you're a big designer of what should have been in the middle of the floor at PBA, not the state map. So you have Omaha has their new floor that has the skyline on the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
You have Creighton that has the gigantic logo,
which I like.
Which I think they should make bigger because it looks like KU's logo gets bigger and bigger every year.
It does.
Yeah. It's already it's stretched out the stands.
What you have at PBA. So in your power rankings of the best floor designs for the 3 Division I men's basketball programs.
Nebraska's got better when they replaced it a couple years ago. So remind me, in the middle now, I don't know why I have to be reminded. In the middle at PBA, it's script Huskers in the outline of the state.
Yep.
It's sharp.
Still, it's disappointing that from Devaney to PBA, they went away from the floor that had the colored inside the 3-point line.
Yes.
Well, and then they had the basketball was the
basketball. Yeah, it was a circle.
So remember the last couple of years?
That was fun.
The last couple of years at Devaney, they made the N so big. Yeah. I mean, the N touched each 3-point line. It was hilariously big. And that was like, you know what we have to do? We have to make the N bigger. No, bigger. Okay, power rank the court designs. Is it blasphemous to say Creighton is last?
I actually
have a
think
logo?
It's huge. You're right. It's huge.
I like
but
the
what
huge
else would you
logo.
put on the floor at Creighton though?
I don't know.
You could do the outline of Omaha. You could. I mean, UNO stole it now, or taking it now.
The FNBO and Woodman Towers, our own twin towers.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's already FNBO court, so
yeah.
Maybe it'll just have to be FNBO.
I like when they play around and gosh, Creighton. It felt like at one point it was a different color inside the 3-point line. And I like when they play around with the different shades.
The different tones,
Creighton to the Civic have like a really small
Billy the Blue Jay.
It's a huge basketball, Billy. So it's I believe it's at the Mama's Pizza on 156th and Pacific.
They bought the old floor?
I'm pretty sure they did.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
I'm almost 100% that they did, and they still have some Civic stuff just around that location. Yeah. It's a huge basketball with a Billy Blue Jay.
Well, I mean,
because the Billy the Blue Jay would spin the basketball on his finger, right? That was that was how he looked.
If that's not the original, they did a damn good job of trying to replicate it.
Well, there are people that own part of the floor that the Kings played on.
Oh, so that's just in somebody's house somewhere?
Yes, or it's been pieced apart, and so people own part of it. But I think a majority of the floor is owned by an individual.
Mm-hmm.
So they have it up on the wall?
Yeah, it's on the wall. It's so right on the side. It's just, mean, it's huge.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be it. It's got to be the original.
I might have to go there for lunch.
It's good pizza.
I was in there for takeout a couple weeks ago.
It's damn good pizza.
You can stop
it is.
And go, is that the floor?
Yeah, you'll notice it when you go and pick it up. So if you
I did.
You walk into the carryout area.
That's what I did.
Just look right behind you. It's there.
Oh.
It's noticeable because I was waiting for my pizza the other day. I'm like, damn, that's huge. That's got to be it.
See, that's the missed part of some of these quote unquote sports bars that have gone under. That what do they do with the memorabilia?
Yeah,
there was some odd stuff at the Pipeline. on
yeah.
72nd.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden
Uh-huh.
overnight that just closes.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, there was some good stuff in there, like memorabilia.
I think the people who own it probably just keep it. They hang on to it.
I think we went to the Pipeline just after COVID, after a hockey game. Like I
don't think the pipeline closed during COVID.
No,
it was wide open. COVID's got
come
nothing
on
in
in.
this place.
Oh, you mean they weren't going by the guidelines? Yeah.
Come on in.
But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you know how many Wednesday nights I spent there? Dollar beer nights, and when I was at UNO, my gosh,
dollar beer nights.
Do you know that when Exarban Coliseum was open and the track, I mean, well, especially the Coliseum, because I know all the hockey people would go to the pipeline.
that was the spot.
Like Mike Hastings, there was a stool that was named after him at the
Nice.
pipeline. Because you'd get done with the game or whatever you're doing at the Coliseum.
Yeah.
You drive across the street to the pipeline.
Hang out.
Oh, no, one of the, I think, he was an offensive lineman. It might have been right around Bober's time. Pete Donahoe. He was always the security /ID checker at Pipeline.
Nice.
Yeah, he was there.
The bouncer?
Yep, he was the bouncer, the cooler. He was the Dalton. And yeah, so many great memories there.
Well, I wonder if the Blue Jay, when it closed, did they, because they had some pretty good memorabilia in there.
Yeah.
Well, that was less of a ceremonial closing and more of a forced closing.
Yeah. We might be onto something there.
Yeah. So I don't know if they were able to get back in there.
So that not everybody in there was 21
Yeah.
was able to drink.
Yeah, maybe not.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Maybe
when
there
you-
were some Central High students in there. I don't know.
It's crazy when you're not 21, how every bar in town that will let you drink
Yep.
and not check your ID.
Yep.
The word spreads
Yep.
quickly.
It does. Oh, I know where you can get in. Oh, hell yeah.
Everybody meet down at the J.
Yep.
Now, that would be another place that probably wouldn't have been affected by COVID if they were around.
No.
And they were like, man, we're open. Nothing can touch
no.
COVID in this place.
Oh, no. Come on in.
God,
Come
it's-
one, come all.
Hey, speaking of COVID and the Blue Jay, remember when we had to trace the first cases that were happening and they would send out these reports?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so-and-so was at the Walmart on 168. Then they went to a Creighton game, but before the Creighton game,
that
they
was
were at the Blue Jay.
that
I
was
just
like
remember
one of
that
the-
one of the first public reports is they were at the Blue Jay.
That was one of the first cases. They were at that Creighton game.
Yeah.
They went to the Blue Jay bar before.
As soon as I heard the Blue Jay, I'm like, oh, we're going to get more cases now.
It's going to spread.
You're going to hear more about this one. God, that was weird. You would get you would get their whereabouts.
Yeah.
You would get all of the whereabouts. Like, this is just weird.
You know what? Now that I think about this, in the couple of times that I was at the Blue Jay, you're right. I thought they were maybe just turned 21 college students.
No.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they might have been seniors.
Just,
at
just turned 17, excited about making their college decision.
Yeah. And trust me, if you're around that age, you knew. You knew where you could go.
Oh yeah, and that's the same way in Lincoln. I mean, it is now. I know some kids that they know what bar in Lincoln does not card.
Mm-hmm.
And I said,
Or if they loosely check.
Well,
I think more importantly, which liquor stores.
Yes.
Oh, there's a couple gas stations in the Ralston area that we used to frequent. That's true.
Hey,
there was
the only advice I gave, if you're going to do this, I go, you're better luck off of O Street in Lincoln because that's where everybody's watching.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be obvious when you've got a fake ID. I mean, go to a place that's off the beaten path.
Yeah.
Go to the Tam O'Shanter.
The Tam. The Tam now. Well, the one out by the liquor store out by the McDonald's there in Lincoln and just north of the North Bottoms.
Yeah.
It used to be called Bud's.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called anymore. / I don't know if it's a liquor store anymore, but that was a spot because then you tailgate in the North Bottoms. So you just throw the case over the shoulder and walk on to the Indian reservation. And that's the story until that got shut down, the Miami game in 2014, because
That was a debacle.
Got a little rowdy.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
It's a tough day. Tough day for everyone.
Yes, it was. That was a nightmare. Somebody who owns some property in the North Bottoms. That whole day against Miami was a blank show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
That's also one of the days
And
where
don't forget, A-Rod was there.
He sure was.
it's also
He was
one
in
of
the
days
rail
where
yard.
somebody in the North Bottoms who has a home that they no longer own that a block away from where I've got my two properties. They had the 500-person party in their backyard.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
that they were charging.
Well, that's what happened after they shut down the res. Everybody went to the backyards.
Oh, yeah.
And then the backyards started getting shut. I don't know what the kids do anymore. I don't
They
know.
still so they're not as big down there, but they still have parties, but they're not 250 people in the backyard.
Yeah. It's funny because when you're in college, like that's it. And then when you graduate college and you become a little bit more dignified, I guess, I suppose, you move to the places like under the viaduct and into the parking lots and stuff like that. It's, you're still tailgating with generally the same people. You could just do it, in a dignified way.
I've heard the lot where a lot of us park for basketball at Pinnacle Bank.
Yep.
And then a little bit in the Haymarket has become a
good spot
for college kids.
That's where my wife's parents tailgate, and it's a good spot. A lot of people over there. A lot of space. There's just a lot of space. It's a long walk to the game,
but getting out after a game, it's a lot easier.
Not bad at all. Yeah, pretty close access to the old interstate there.
We got parents that have kids that are in Lincoln that are just swearing at us now for giving tips.
These are outdated
Yeah,
tips.
I
though.
think most of the stuff that I can mention in Omaha are outdated.
Tell you that the kids are on to where they need to go.
Like I said, word spreads quickly.
Yeah, they're going to find it. We're not helping the matters. They're going to find it.
I imagine
chances are they already know, and they know stuff that we don't.
Well, I imagine it's tougher to find those places now. But I don't know.
Well, you have more. I don't recall, like when I was in college, I don't recall as many like bus by cops where they would send somebody in to try and buy alcohol, which you hear about a lot now.
Yeah.
Which if I was owning a business, first of all, I would be everybody that's checking the door, IDs, serving. I'd make sure that everybody's 21. If you see a fake, think it's a fake, they're in a gots to go situation, because if it's a cop, you're busted, you're in the media,
right?
It's a fine. Your liquor license is in.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's in the newspaper. It's everywhere.
And then I wanted to be one of those kids that they would send in as underage to buy.
The informant?
Like you want it to be a knock?
You want to be an informant?
Like
a knock?
So I heard about it.
Are you a knock?
I read about it in the Daily Nebraska, and I'm like, how do I be that person?
Yeah. What'd you get, like $10 per visit?
Did they put out like a wanted ad? Like
no, they were just like
looking for
you
knocks.
Get paid. I know you get paid. You get
so
paid.
do you get paid by how many businesses you're able to fool?
That's why. No, I just think it's just per visit, regardless of if you fooled them or not.
Oh wow, that's a great deal. It's
but I'm
money.
sure they cap you. But yeah, as far as I understand, I've never done it.
I wonder if they train you, like, okay, you can't act like you're suspicious and go up to the counter and like look away and just put a case down there.
Right.
You have to look like you're comfortable.
Is that entrapment then, or what?
I've been drinking this stuff for years.
Yeah. I heard they recently added more hops to it.
If I was like, if I was the narc, I would have already scoped out the store so that when you walk in, you know exactly what the beer is.
Yeah.
And you just walk back and grab it, and you walk confidently right up to the counter.
Act like you do it every night. Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of like you walk in and you start looking around.
He's bust out in a cold sweat.
Oh.
But then when you get it, when you actually turn to 21, you have your real ID for the first time, you sort of don't know what to do.
I know.
You're like, I know this is very, this is all above board. This is very legal for me to be here right now, but it's disorienting.
And then you get to the
and then you're
where,
like, I don't know. I don't trust you. You're like, sir, I just turned 21.
The best is when you get to the age where you actually clamor to get carded. And they're like, oh, you're good. You're like, do you need to see my ID? Here, I'll give it to you.
Is this right now for you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All the time.
I just got carded at Neil's retirement party at Fernando's. Can I see your ID, sir?
You don't have a lot of gray in that red beard.
Everybody around me was jealous.
Yeah.
Everybody around me said, interesting.
I don't think it had to do with age, probably just procedure. When I was at Horseshoe recently, guy said, "Can I see your ID?" And I'm like, "Really?" I gotta be 21. I'm like, So maybe I showed it to him, and I don't
like to get in.
Yeah, haven't you ever been stopped?
Maybe they knew you as a card counter, and they're trying to see if, like, is this the guy?
Well, they do it to everybody. Like when you go into the casino, they don't do it at Horseman's though. Like when you walk
Horseshoe,
yeah. But that's everybody. They card it. They got to run everybody's card through the thing.
It's the only time I've ever been. Usually, you just walk right in, and they say, "Hey, hello."
Oh,
really? You walk right by him. And
no, I've never.
The last time I was there, they go, "Can I see your ID?"
They always take my ID.
How'd
and
you
slide
feel
it
about
through the
that?
thing.
A lot of places do that. I've never had that at there, but I got
Mm.
I got carded,
Yeah,
and
they-
they just looked at it. They didn't move it. They didn't put it through a machine.
Well, then, like when you go to like Hy-Vee or something, you need to got a 19 on 4, and then
Oh,
they
yeah.
now, regardless. I mean, you could be like easily in your 60s, and they still like scan the back of your ID. I'm like, what?
Mhm.
Why?
Hey,
I don't
good
get
on
that.
the young people that check out at Hy-Vee. They don't mess around.
No, nope.
Like if they're not old enough to scan alcohol, they immediately hit the button, and the
Sit.
manager comes over,
Yep.
and they stand. Yeah, you're right. They stand back.
And the manager has to tell you your total and everything. It's
Yeah,
almost
they
like
finish out the
yeah,
purchase.
they take over the transaction.
I'd be like, oh my gosh, there's too many people here to wait for this manager to walk over here. Let me
Real.
just slide it over the
And
thing.
that's a bad part of the self checkout.
This is probably overpriced. Here, just take it.
because then you'll have all those beeping, and then you'll have the
Yeah.
the ones in the middle too. It's just a lot.
I always try to do that purchase in the wine and spirits, but if I have too many groceries, then I'm just being an absolute Richard. So I'm not going to do that.
Absolutely. Sometimes, you got to. Sometimes you take your
If I got
alcohol purchase
like
outside.
less than 5 items on top of the alcohol, I'll go and check out in the wine and spirits. But anything more
Yeah.
than that, I just feel like that's mean.
That's the problem. You don't know what the limit is. You know, if you got a full cart of groceries and you also want to get booze, you're not going to
Yeah.
check that out in the wine and spirits section, because you're right. Then you're just taking
because that
advantage
line
of the
itself
system.
can get insane.
You're just gaming the system at that
Yeah,
point.
that's not good. It's not what it was designed for.
Exactly.
The wine and spirits over by your house, you'll see Brian Windhorse occasionally.
Yeah.
Golfed with Wendy.
Windy?
Wendy's good. He's
Is
just
he a good
dude.
golfer?
He's not bad. Yeah, he's not bad.
Interesting.
He's just a good dude.
Yeah, people don't see. We've
It's
talked
just so
about this
funny.
before. People don't see him around town very much.
No, it's so funny. Like I think by now you don't hear it as much, but like early on, be like, wait, Brian Windhorse lives in Omaha? Why? It's always why. It's like
Just-
it's as good a place as any.
His wife's from here.
Yeah, she went
Good
to
enough
the
for
West
you?
Side.
I mean, it's Omaha. Why wouldn't you want to live here?
Wife is
Somewhere in the
West
middle
Side, and
America.
they met at the Ohio State. The rest is rock and roll history.
Windy. Let's go play golf with Windy then. You got the hookup.
Let's tee it up.
All right.
Let's get
I
Wendy.
like that idea.
Let's get Wendy.
I think this is a foursome right here, and he can be the fivesome.
The Windy Invitational.
Yeah.
Does he belong
Wendy
to,
invite.
Does he belong to a course here in town?
He's at Indian Creek a lot.
He's
A
out.
little bougie.
He's out that
Yeah.
way.
He's out Indian Creek a
So,
lot.
Connor, we're gonna have to step up from playing Warren Swigert.
Yeah. And we'll too small.
Do people
I gave up on
actually
Milt's.
pay to play on Warren Swigert? Because I've always
No,
wondered,
probably
like,
not.
you
It
could
costs
just-
like $8.
like, of the courses that you can sneak onto and
Mhm.
they'd be oblivious that you're out there. That's got to be
That would
number
be
one or number two.
That'd be number one.
And it's a good course,
Yeah.
R3. But like, I don't ever see anybody come out of that little clubhouse.
No.
You
Yeah.
could just pull up
I'm sure
and
it's
then
got
just walk to the first tee and just tee off. And
What
once
about
you walk away and you're like in the back by the houses,
yeah?
no one's gonna come find you.
Yeah, I see. I think once you get to the back of Westwood,
They don't have a
too,
Ranger, I don't think.
I think the par threes are the best place to pull that off. Yeah, there is no Ranger, and if there is one, if someone's posturing is one, yeah, run away from that person.
Omaha Parks,
Get away
Omaha
from that.
Parks
Get away
assigned
from
you to be Ranger at Warren Swigert.
Yeah. Just run, just get the hell out of there.
Are you sure I can't go to Benson? No.
Yeah.
Warren Swigert.
Well, where is that at?
You start down there.
Well, it's off of Maple, about the 90th, 95th area. You'll be fine down there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Do I get a cart? No, you're not going to need one.
You just get
Yeah.
this orange flag
yep.
and a shirt that says Ranger on it.
Yep. Oh God, here he comes.
Perfect. I was looking forward to retirement. Oh, you're not retiring, sir. We're going to put you to work. We're not just going to give you a handout from the city of Omaha.
I don't think you could pull that off at Milt's. Milt's is it's pretty open. Like, I don't,
Hey,
Yeah, you could see everything.
I
from
give
the
credit. Hey,
clubhouse.
Miltz is hanging on.
they
The
are.
guy doesn't
Unbelievable.
want to
They are.
sign.
Yes.
He doesn't want to sign, sell. I mean,
Yeah.
you're going to have shortly a major casino right
Yeah,
there.
and Milt's.
And then you're going to have Milt's.
Yeah.
Like most casinos have like this luxurious golf course. Here in Omaha, we're going to have Milt's.
Milt's Resort.
Yeah, what if it becomes Milt's Golf Resort?
Like
See, that's
Milt-
why he's hanging
Like
on.
he has resisted selling.
Yeah.
And instead he turns it around and they make it a resort with hotels and stuff.
Yeah.
You hold on long
He's
enough.
holding on long
Eventually,
enough. It's-
you
yeah.
get the prize at the
Milt's
end.
Golf Resort. I cannot wait. I can't
That's
wait.
That's
In
it.
high school, we used to have the Milt's Masters.
That
It
is
was so much fun.
That is the final form of Milt.
See, that's going to be one of those places that looks like out of place here in Omaha. You know, and it's changed now. When you were on 90th and you were going towards the interstate, and there would be on the right-hand side, basically a farmstead with housing development. There's a pool. It's 90th and I can't even think of the street. It's right there by Don and Millie's.
Yeah.
Oh,
right
yeah.
there would be like a farmstead.
Yeah.
And amongst all these other nice houses, and you're like, okay, someone has decided never to sell.
Yeah.
Now it's changed now. But that looked out of place. Like Milt's with a casino will look out of
A
place.
brand new state-of-the-art casino.
So funny.
Yeah, it's either go big or go home.
So funny.
Milt's Resort, though. I think we should push for that. Milt's Golf Resort.
Yeah, I mean, they should do a deal. They should do a deal with the casino.
In conjunction with Warhorse. It's going to be great. It's going to be so good. Can we get some staking on that? I feel like we're noodling this one. We should get a little staking on this.
Yeah, I mean, if Warhorse would like to have us out.
Yeah,
when
if they
open
would
up,
like us to maybe come in as consultants.
Yeah.
On how to make Milt say a golf
Save
experience
Milt.
like no other.
Start of the unicameral, might be able to bet on Husker football games.
Yep.
When they're playing here.
It's just so weird.
So many rules.
The restrictions are just like, come on.
They're very normal and happen at various other states.
Oh, here's a good one from the text line. Nothing you beat the 9th hole at Spring Lake when you have to hit over the road.
Now that's sweet.
You could definitely walk on in Spring Lake.
I've never gone to Spring Lake.
So
you can park your car at Spring Lake during the College World Series at
yeah,
Rosenblatt.
you can. I'm trying to think of a good spot where they wouldn't see you. Yeah, because you don't have much
Because it goes the clubhouse is sort of up a little bit, but then the course it dips down significantly, like it's in a valley.
It might be the 4th or 5th hole that's way in the back.
Yeah.
Like that would be an area that you could walk on. Like I always wondered, like if you lived around there, wouldn't you just hop the fence and play like 3 holes every day and then
So
go
we
back
used to
home?
we used to rent a house on Eagle Run, and we were on the par 4. So that's all I'd ever do is we just hop the fence. Yeah, the links. We get on. It was number 4, and then we would just play the rest, and never ever had anybody say anything.
Yeah.
And then that par 3, the
Meadows.
Yes, that one would be an easy one to get on because it stretches all the way out off of Maple there.
Juice stop.
Yeah, exactly. Go into that parking lot. And you just jump on there. You can probably play like 5 holes undetected.
Yeah, I was in golf league as a kid, and the greatest part would be in between 7 and 8. You'd stop and walk in line to get a juice stop.
If you, by the way, if you blade one,
oh yeah, you're in trouble.
You are going to have a lot of issues there, including that juice stop. It's not ideal.
It's pretty.
And it's easy to
so
do.
What is it? The 7th that runs up against Maple.
Yeah.
On the short course, it is narrow.
It's narrow.
You're gonna end up on somebody's plate at Summer Kitchen Cafe.
Right. There's not a lot of backdrop between course and parking lot / cars and businesses. I know it's happening.
It's only kids who play there too.
I know.
Like it's a par 3
I know.
course.
Oh,
this is a disaster.
Going back, you have me missing. I like Spring Lake.
Yeah, Spring Lake was great.
That's a nice
I haven't played there in a
little
long time.
It was in the COVID year where I wanted to play every course in town. It was one of the last courses I played. I'd never played there before. I knew it existed, but I'd never had the opportunity. And I actually really liked it.
Yeah.
And they'd started to make some improvements.
No, it was actually okay. Yeah. Spring Lake is sort of where I learned how to, like when we started golfing, when me and my group of friends started golfing, like right after high school. I think that's a normal arc for people.
Are there only 2?
That's where I started, Spring Lake.
Are there only 2 golf courses in town that a road runs right through it? Field Club and that?
Yeah. I've never been to Spring Lake, the Field Club for sure. Yeah. I don't think any other. What?
I would think so. Although you do have to go underneath. You have to go underneath like 108th Street when you're playing at what's that course? Knowles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. You do, and then. Never mind. I'm thinking of the Ashland Country Club and that goofy part where you tee off, then you go to the next hole, you play that hole, and then you go back to your ball. Or something really strange at Ashland Country Club.
I like the Ashland Country Club.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about? It's like it's on the back 9. You tee off.
So they
or did they change that?
They shifted some holes out there.
Okay, I wonder if that was the case. Yeah, you would tee off, And then basically, okay, remember where our ball was. Then you go to the next hole, you finish that hole, and then you play your previous drive.
No, I don't think that's how it is anymore.
It's
Unless I'm doing it wrong.
Very unique.
Yeah,
very unique.
It's very possible that I'm doing it wrong.
Texture Bernie.
Have I played the wrong hole before? Yes, I have. Lots of
Texture Bernie says over at Milt's, a company paid $200,000 for an option to buy the first time it was on the ballot and it didn't pass.
Milt's.
Yep. And now they want a huge amount of money for that land
because it's prime real estate now.
That's smart. Good
Look
on them.
They
That's
just,
smart.
They just hung right on.
Yep. That is a savvy business decision.
And it's when it's golfing season, it is busy out there. People hitting on the range, playing. Good on them.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
They need to develop hotels just to stick it right back at the casino.
I think so. Throw in a water feature.
Yeah.
And then you partner with the little amusement park.
Funplex, yeah.
Boom. Then you got your own little entertainment area.
Man. Now we're talking, a little
70th
entertainment district.
I mean, hey, then go further down the street and say, hey, Bob Mackey, you want part of this? Big Red Keno? I mean,
oh yeah,
or Ralston Keno? Ralston Keno?
Ralston Arena,
yeah.
aka Liberty Credit.
Bam! We got a whole entertainment complex, and then we got a rivalry in Ralston.
Yeah.
We got the casino against the locals.
Yeah, I'd put that area up against Exarban.
Yep. Man.
Light it right
Just
up.
keep expanding. We got plans.
Yeah, we got plans. We got
plans.
ideas. Can't wait till that casino opens.
I'll see Bob Mackey shortly. I'll run that by him.
Hey, Bob, got a winner for you.
Try this on for size.
Here it is. People still go to Funplex though. People go.
Do you get anything wrong with your skin after you?
I haven't been in quite some time. I used to love to go to ride the go-karts.
Do they let adults go to Funplex?
What a great go-kart
When they got
track.
Emotion Ocean, it was a game changer.
Oh, the wave pool?
The wave pool, yeah.
But do they let adults go to Funplex?
Oh, adults go to Funplex.
But do they go because their kids are there, or can you
No.
go as an adult period
They
of Funplex?
made some party stuff there.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. We had a company picnic there. Had a company picnic there.
We're thinking.
Mhm.
We're talking. Company picnic at
I
Funplex.
always drive by and it looks like that roller coaster has aged a little bit.
Yeah.
It looks a little scary to go on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Even though it doesn't go that high up, yeah, it's still
I just
wouldn't trust
not
it.
sure if it's going to work.
Wouldn't trust it.
They have a little Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
I think half the people I know have been stuck on that for a period of
Do
time.
they still have the slick track for the go-karts?
Oh, the slick track.
Which was very stressful.
Wasn't there a ride there that like it went haywire and some bad things happened?
Oh, do they have like a
I think they
did
had
they have like a fatality?
They had like an accident. Yeah, like
Oh.
a real life accident with one of those things that flies around.
Really?
It was like it looks like an octopus sort of, and it like has the carts on the outside and it goes up and down and around and
I know,
around
yeah,
and
I know what
around.
you're talking about.
I think
Like
someone like flew out of that or something like that.
yikes.
Eddie says, you guys are making Q Street in Ralston sound like the most entertainment complex of Omaha.
It's
Oh
the
yeah.
Mecca.
Gonna bring it on.
It is the pathway to entertainment in Omaha.
If they would just listen to us.
Go play frisbee golf at Seymour Smith.
Yep. You can froth in the luxurious golf resort that we're gonna propose to Milt's.
We are single-handedly bringing back Ralston.
Make a weekend out of it.
I mean, Bushwhackers is trying.
Oh yeah.
But they
there
can't
you
do
go.
anything what we're doing.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
the granary. Oh, that's just a drop in the bucket.
Schedule it around a show at Liberty First Arena.
Yeah.
Yep.
it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
Jeez.
Speaking of court designs,
I mean, isn't only hairball and religious groups?
Just hairball.
Hairball.
I don't know.
I
I'm gonna be
definitely went
honest.
to a hairball show there.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
How are the
absolutely.
acoustics?
Hey,
How are the
hairball,
acoustics?
hairball in person is fun.
Hairball rocks.
How I've never been to a concert at Ralston Arena. How are the acoustics there? Because
It's
I know
lovely.
is it okay?
It's lovely.
It's okay.
Because I know
It
having
gets-
done many games, UNO basketball and a couple Lancer games, it's really bad. As far as just like
The house was packed,
music
though.
and announcing. But remember, those acts are also bringing in their own speakers as well. So you're not just relying on
That's true.
what you have there. So
It's
I can understand it being better.
Oh, hey, they got Foreigner coming in.
Foreigner? Hey.
Are they with like sticks and
Yeah.
REO Speedwagon?
Yeah, I want to REO Speedwagon in there.
There is
Billy
no
Squire?
one else on the poster.
No Billy Squire?
Just Foreigner.
Just Foreigner?
Foreigner and
That might
Friends?
be a tough sell.
Yeah, you got to bring Ario.
Just say Foreigner and Friends, and then you can speculate. Is it going to be Ario, Billy Squire? You know,
I'm sorry.
38 special?
Yeah.
With special guest Cage Willis.
Well, that doesn't do it either.
Cage Willis.
Not super familiar with.
I have
don't know
no clue
Cage.
who Cage Willis is.
Never heard of Cage.
The beef start up in March.
But what is so when the Steelhouse downtown opens up, is that going to impact Ralston Arena?
I don't think so.
What are they going to bring?
Well,
is it
if you hear them talk about it, they say there's a number of large acts seeking a mid-sized venue that skip over Omaha because it doesn't have the arena.
Is it kind of like supposed to be like a House of Blues type
that's
concept?
the way I take it.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too.
Are we saturated with entertainment facilities here?
Mm-hmm.
Some might say too many.
Something for everyone.
And we just laid out
That's why we named the
gold
Ralston
mine.
Entertainment
Yeah,
District.
we laid out a winner. We absolutely laid out a winner.
All right,
I mean, we used to just have one like outdoor amphitheater.
Mhm.
Now there's like 5.
Oh, yeah. There's no shortage of places to go.
And oh, by the way, we're competing against Lincoln for acts here.
Yeah, Pinewood Bowl, huge.
Remember we thought we'd have a fight and we'd have to choose between if we're a CHI person / back then CenturyLink or a PBA person?
Yeah.
Yep.
Or people who are like, I'm never going to the Quest Center because I love the Civic too much.
Yeah.
I've never stepping foot in that place.
Who
It's too
was
corporate.
that person?
Too corporate for me.
Yeah.
Taking the soul away from the way I enjoy sports.
Oh, man.
I hate Mike Fahey. Never.
Yeah.
Never going in his place.
Nope.
I remember walking into that big old hallway for the first time. I was like, where am I?
Yeah.
What is this? Why is this place so big? What's going on? And it still sort of feels.
So you have a guess, Josh, on what Steelhouse will have as their first act?
Ooh, great question.
Because they can't go like light.
It's not booked. It's not.
No,
booked
they
yet, is it?
no. Well, I'm sure they booked it. They haven't announced it publicly.
Okay.
Because what is it? May? They're opening?
Yeah,
I never heard of this before.
they're doing a lot of hits on
Yeah,
the
you
news.
can't miss it.
Like, hey, this is coming.
Right next to the Holland.
Oh, yeah, I have seen that actually.
Well,
Yeah.
like if you drive by it, you have no idea what it is.
Is John Popper still with us?
I don't
He
know.
is still with us.
That seems like a.
There's a lot less of them with us, but
Hot take: John Popper better than Counting Crows.
Mm.
Blues
That
Traveler.
seems like
Blues Traveler's
That
great.
seems like a good, like safe open where
Yeah.
people know the name and they'll just go.
3,000 people inside the Steelhouse.
But don't we already have a 3,000 seat?
Jewel, Sheryl Crow.
She'd been here.
Yeah.
She did. And if you got to see Sheryl Crow for free,
Memorial Park.
you're not going to pay for it now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, anybody that plays for free at that, if they come back to this town like to Stir Cove, you're like, no, I'm not paying for it.
You see Mustache Adams
It's a great tweet.
That is a fantastic tweet.
Designers say they hope the Steelhouse attracts fresh energy downtown. Omaha-born TikTok influencer Captain Cuber helps spread the word to his millions of followers with a unique Rubik's Cube display.
Captain Cuber.
I think his bit is just he does Rubik's Cubes on TikTok, which is very, very cool. All right, you guys have to go because we are
about to go off the air.
About to be off the air.
About to be TV stars.
Yep. Goodbye, everybody. But stick along with us on the internet, 1620thezone.com, or on the app. We'll start things off next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone. Previously on the crossover.
That one didn't actually get on the air.
No,
did it?
sadly it didn't.
And I wish it would have been on the air. But
I know,
the way
it's really
he said
funny.
it made it sound like the thing that made you upset about January 6th wasn't the insurrection, but that it interrupted your building of a Lego set.
Oh, man, I was making Legos.
Speaking of tiny baby,
Definitely not what I meant. But I understand.
Mornings on 1620 The Zone. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Cold and quiet to finish off the week Friday. Expect clouds in the morning with more afternoon sunshine. Wind will be light to calm most of the day with highs around 30. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style.
When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Welcome to Digital Express. On the Fort Omaha campus of Metropolitan Community College, Digital Express is an inviting space for people to learn and interact with technology. It's a place where multiple generations can feel comfortable. A place where K-12 students can come for support and workshops. A place where families can connect, learn, and create. And a place to ask basic questions about technology and receive low-cost technology repairs. For more information, visit mccneb.edu/Digital Express.
Omaha hockey is back in action when they welcome Minnesota Duluth to Baxter Arena tonight. Pregame is at 7 p.m. Puck drops at 7:36. It's UNO versus Minnesota Duluth tonight on your home for Maverick Hockey. News Talk 1290 Coil.
Research shows listeners prefer a personalized experience. So to help you remember, Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance. We personalized this ad for Amber, who really misses boy bands from the 90s.
Hey girl, I'm the cute one, here to tell you how Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I'm the heartthrob. The only thing I love more than you is saving. And I'm the other boy in the band everyone forgot about.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Give your business a whole host of options with Host Coffee. The most impressive selection of office coffee, water options, healthy food options, and vending technologies. Host Coffee, serving you since 72. Be a part of the Host Coffee team today. If you'd like to work for a trusted and loyal family-owned company that understands the needs of working families, Host Coffee has your opportunity. Apply at hostcoffee.net.
You can find pizza anywhere. But when you want pizza pie piled high with more toppings, that's when you come to my place, Godfather's Pizza. For a limited time, get your hands on 2 of my large one-topping pizzas. Pick pepperoni, beef, black olives, you choose. All this food for only $29. Feed your whole mob without breaking the bank. Hey, it's an offer you can't refuse. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
Make the right call, fans. The Roofery's at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Roofery's. Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
All right, welcome in. Happy Friday. Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Odson with you. And we got to talk some recruiting because there has been some movement since the last time we spoke, as is tradition. We talked to Bryan Munson of Husker Online, who joins the show now. Munson, happy Friday. How are you?
I'm doing good, brother. How are you?
Good. How are you feeling about your Buffalo Bills this weekend? I assume pretty confident.
Yeah, I mean, obviously no Tua. I don't want to say no Tua, no prayer, but I do feel a lot better about that situation. There's something about playing in the AFC East against one another. You kind of can throw records out the window, most times. And Miami's been able to run the football so very well at Buffalo. It's going to be it's still a very interesting game, I think. But when you take away the ability to distribute the ball like Tua can, I just don't feel like there's enough of an offense there that can push Buffalo this weekend.
No.
So, yeah, still feeling pretty good.
I would too. Excuse me. There's the popcorn. It's early. It's early. We got the popcorn early today, so the cough came early. All right, Munson. Got some questions for you with recruiting as of right now. Let's go sort of bigger picture, I suppose here. And I think we've talked about the idea of Nebraska being in Texas. It's obvious now. You know it. You're there. With the addition of Bob Wager and others on the staff and all of Matt Rule's connections. I mean, you've already seen Nebraska pop up here, but you wrote about it a little bit in your Tunnel Talk part today. There's some real life buzz in Texas about what Nebraska is putting together as far as a recruiting operation here.
Absolutely. I mean, I only went as far as Bob Wagner, the person that I spoke with last night, my source that I kind of semi-quoted in my tunnel talk today, which was a really fun conversation, number one. But the source not only talked about Wagner, he talked about McGuire. And he talked about how, the son of the Texas Tech head coach is really interesting, but that he has heard some really incredible things about his acumen, about what he is going to look like as just this young prodigy, and how Rule is kind of trying to, can be building this coaching tree essentially up underneath him. And it was more kind of bigger picture, but, he said Wagner is kind of in the same kind of line of coaching, when it comes to pedigree, when it comes to just, how they kind of do things and how well liked they are around Texas football. He said he's really kind of the same guy as McGuire. So he understands, he can make the relationship essentially from, Coach McGuire, who Coach Rule brought in from Cedar Hill down to Waco, and how he could bring in, Wagner in from Arlington Martin. But, the part there I think you're referring to is, I had said, there's 32 high schools essentially in Dallas Mid-Cities. And Dallas Mid-Cities is an area between Dallas and Fort Worth. I think a lot of people are astonished when I tell you that it's 64 miles, from downtown Dallas all the way to the eastern side of the Dallas Metroplex. It's a vast amount of space that's in there. It consists of the airport and all these other places, all these other things that are there. But there's a great big bunch of population and some huge markets in Arlington and Irving and Grand Prairie and Capel and Flower Mound. You just keep going on and on and on. And it was really surprising going through the offers of just the 2024 guys. I wasn't even considering the 2023 guys. I was just looking at the 2024 guys. There was no offers to any players from that part of the Metroplex. So it was, for a staff right now, the offers that were into Dallas, half of them in the state of Texas were into Dallas. 4 of them, had guys that were really considering Nebraska, but there were nothing mid-city. So it was interesting to see Nebraska get to work right away and target a 2023 tight end.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really interesting, and once they get their sort of feet underneath them even a little bit more, and with the guys that they've added to the staff, it'll be really, really intriguing to see the noise that they can sort of make in Texas. I guess, could you speak to this at all? Because the idea of the Texas coaches and it being sort of a tight-knit group and all, I mean, we heard this when Nebraska was entering into their foray under Mike Riley in St. Louis, and how, it was sort of just a tough nut to crack a little bit. And I think the general idea is you get a guy, you develop them, it works out, and then you go back to that area and you say, hey, look at what we did, and he's a guy from your school, or in the region, or in the Metroplex. Right. I guess, where's Nebraska at in that process right now, and how far ahead can they be, considering the relationships that they already have on their staff?
Well, Matt Rule has got ties down to Texas from his previous stint with Baylor, and they're going to take, and they know that obviously it's a constant shift in things in the whole Texas high school coaching ranks and stuff like that, and that's where you get a current view of things with Coach Wagner. You can bring him in there, because from the person I talked to again last night, they likened him to another guy that I'm very familiar with, Rodney Webb, who is now the AD at Dallas Highland Park High School. And that was my son's head coach down here. And he was the president of the Texas High School Coaches Association. So when you talk about having that respect, from your peers and knowing everybody, and then they say, well, Wagner is really good friends with Coach Rodney Webb, you get an understanding really quickly about what kind of person you're dealing with, the kind of connections he's going to have. So you can refresh the things that Rule maybe has some gaps with when it comes to his time away from Waco to what you're going to get there with Coach Wagner. But then you also have this ability to kind of just pick up the phone and make a phone call. And then I think that what you can do from that is you start, like you said, you find some common ground. Remember so-and-so who we worked with, who we developed. Remember so-and-so who came out of this place or whatever. And, you know, and Wagner's had some really good players come out of Martin. I believe Myles Garrett is out of Arlington Martin. So when you start talking about the talent that he has developed at the high school level to put it into college, you know, go down to, I think he was from A&M, right? Myles Garrett was from A&M. And you start to talk about the talent there and how you're developing that. And then how you're going to start taking that and working with Coach Rule, who was very important to the state of Texas, and doing this with other guys. And you're going to take guys now that are you know, here that want to go play in the Big Ten and get a chance to go knock off Michigan and Ohio State who are in the playoff and rebuild this program. It's a pretty compelling story. I mean, you're still able to kind of go out there. You're not horribly far. I mean, people sit there and unfortunately it's a Texas to Nebraska thing where they don't understand how relatively close things are when it comes to like driving to Lincoln. It's essentially, you know, it's a 9-hour drive basically from where I'm at. So you're getting there in a day's worth, and people would typically go longer during the day, but you can get there and actually have some activity that night if that's what you want to do from the Dallas side. So I think that you find that common ground. You find some talking points, you get to where you can kind of get on the same page about some things, and then you start down that path. And I think that you start down the path of, who do you got? Let's stay in touch. And where else would you send me to right now? Because these are the places I'm going to go talk to. I already talked to this guy, but I want to go see about this kid. What other kids would you tell me to go see, like in your district, in your area? Who else was on your non-district schedule that you would suggest I go talk to? I think that this is really going to open up, unlike a lot of different things and times we talked about a pipeline. I really feel like truly there's going to be a pipeline.
Really big picture, Munson. I mean, but the thought was on this staff, at least for me at first, was let's see. I'll be interested to see sort of how they recruit or how they go about recruiting. And it's gone, you know, according to script as far as I think the players that they brought in, especially in this class. But you're already starting to see higher profile guys that Nebraska is going to take cracks at for 2024 and beyond. But you think sort of, oh, it's a developmental staff, right? And that doesn't necessarily lend you to the idea that this is going to be like a huge recruiting juggernaut or operation. Not juggernaut is a strong word, but now that it's been, you know, almost 2 months and we're through a signing day, and they've assembled their whole staff and recruiting operation behind it. And you look at those guys in the staff and with youth and energy and connections and stuff like that. I'll ask you broadly, what kind of recruiting operation is this going to be? Like how big or how well can they do in recruiting after, you know, a year or two under their belt here and potentially some success?
It's so funny you're going there with this, because I went down a whole other path with Tunnel Talk last night. I ended up deleting it. I just went down the rabbit hole with it because I was making these comparisons to what Frost and Joseph were doing essentially last year, and they brought in 3 of the top 10 2023 offensive tackles. Since the January-February timeframe, they were able to kind of improve things, you know, in some areas, Kansas City. They were able to get into Louisiana where they had some ties, but they also had, this is something that didn't get really talked about a whole lot with them, but they also had like those ties back to like street agents and NIL stuff, and they got those kids come back from Georgia all the time. This staff right now, Johnny Cornelius, Walter Rouse, you got 2 of the top 20 portal transfer guys. So you're talking about, and I'm not telling you that Valance Hurd is not going to be an immediate impact guy at LSU. He's going to be. He's going to probably come in there and play at right tackle, you know, very early in his career down in Baton Rouge. But what I'm telling you also is that Walter Rouse, he's going to play a role, and Ben Scott's going to play a role. And if they would have got a guy like a Johnny Cornelius, he would have played a role. So you had weeks. You had weeks versus months. You had no evaluation period. You just had to get through film. There was a compact amount of time essentially where things had to be examined and decided upon and make a move and go all in on, essentially, to kind of demonstrate the want and what you can kind of do here in the NIL and kind of repackage it all together. And they were doing that essentially almost blind and dumb. Like they would have official visit weekends, and they didn't even really know what the true capability was of Nebraska. They would go on the tours and they would go listen to the questions of the players and the recruits because they didn't have all the answers, and they were out there getting this for their own benefit as well. And it's I really feel like what you've seen so far, I don't want to say it's been slapped together. I would say that they are holding this thing together the best way that they can, and they put together a much better class when it comes to high school players and transfers than I would have ever guessed that they could. But beyond that, when I understand how they went ahead and attacked it, how they went ahead and decided to go ahead and sell it, if you can put that together with a little bit more time and some energy that gets a little bit more evenly distributed, where you start talking about guys that are 2024 and they're recruiting them now, and I think that's even tough. But if you focus on 2025 and out, I really think you're talking about a group that is going to recruit almost as well, if not better, than any other group of coaches that you've ever seen at Nebraska.
Yeah, I mean, just get a little success on the football field this season, and I wonder what that 2024 group could look like.
Yep. I agree with you completely, man. Like I said, I went down that hole and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so off base. And I went back and I took it all out again. But that was a little preview of what I was kind of doing last night. It was just, oh my goodness, my mind was just
it's good to hear that the idea is cooking. Yeah. And so hang on to it, and we'll see how that thing plays out. Coach is back out on the road today. A lot of activity here in Omaha. I guess that shouldn't be a surprise given some of their priorities in 2024. Where else should we expect coaches as they sort of sprawl out today and this weekend?
Yeah, I think. Well, obviously you've got like Carter Nelson that's become this huge priority for. We could talk about tight ends. I seem like all day today. You got a 2023 tight end visiting this weekend. You got a 2024 tight end visiting right now. You got a portal transfer tight end that's really on campus right now too. But I think, when you really get down to it, I think Carter Nelson is still like that. He may not be like the most highly rated guy, and I'm not going to sit here and argue about who the best player in the state is, whether it's Kalen or Benning or Nelson or Pyfrom or McMorris or whomever. I think they're all incredible players. I just think that there's an added value there right now because of where the tight end position is really at when it comes to Nebraska and what that room looks like. But, you got Kalen and Benning and McMorris and Hall, all those guys are gonna see Nebraska quick, and that's what I put in my 3 and out too. I was like, I'm not even gonna mention the in-state guys. They're all gonna see Nebraska. We've seen how Nebraska is embracing the in-state players, but I would focus right now on players in Iowa, in Missouri, in Kansas, in the Dakotas, and I would really take a look at that. And I think I would keep a close eye on what's going on with Dylan Raiola. I mean, things have moved from Ohio State commit to apparently being a Georgia favorite. That puts more value and emphasis, I think, back on Kalen. And people say, like, well, is Kalen the second option? I have a hard time putting that label on him. I mean, he's picked up some massive offers, and that guy shouldn't be playing second fiddle to really anyone. And I think the fact that, that Raiola was the legacy aspect put Nebraska in a really, really, really good position to be part of that equation at all. But Kalen needs to have the type of attention that the real number one guy in that class for Nebraska should be getting as a quarterback prospect, because he is totally worthy of it.
Yeah. Bryan Munson of HuskerOnline.com. All right, Munson, we'll let you go. Good luck with your Bills this weekend, although I wouldn't be too afraid of Skylar Thompson this weekend. And appreciate the update as always, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you in a week, man. See ya.
Bryan Munson, HuskerOnline.com. That was I'm glad Munson and I were sort of on the same page there. And it's Kool-Aid season. It's early. But the way that they were able to sort of piece together that class and the players that they are targeting for 2024 with a good haul of potentially of in-staters and then some big old fish, some real big fish, if you will, Josh.
Nice reference.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't have to sell out for anybody. See, I know stuff.
This guy.
I know stuff. I know ska.
You know pop culture.
I know ska. I don't know. I just kind of think a little bit about what kind of recruiting operation this is going to be. But the problem is you don't really know what your ceiling can be until you find that success on the football field. There's been a lot of staffs. I think really each of the last two sort of reached their ceiling from a recruiting perspective when you compare it to what they were able to get done on the field. We haven't seen it match up in the recruiting era, right? Since about 2000. We haven't seen it match up. What would a really good and tight-knit recruiting operation and hardworking recruiting operation paired along with wins on the football field mean for the Nebraska football program or for a recruiting class? I don't know. I don't know what the ceiling is. That's just a thought. Josh has put out a graphic. This is in response mostly, I think, to Steve, who tweeted in. I think we're off the air, right? I haven't got the notification that we are, but I think we are.
Yeah, we were told 11. Yesterday they told us, hey, it's happening. We didn't get that courtesy today.
So maybe we're on air, maybe we're not. But Steve sent in a very vulgar tweet. This is BS. Here's a novel concept. Do your bleeping maintenance during the overnight when no one is listening. Well, Josh has put out a graphic. I am on the tower right now. I have a hard hat on, although it's sideways.
It's not the straightest hard hat.
Yep. And I'm working hard. So we're working on it.
You can tell you climbed the tower because your legs look great.
Like the gray pants. I don't even know how you did that. So it's just like what is that?
Well, the photo of you that I used, and this is the photo I wanted to use because you had the lanyard on.
Yeah.
It cuts off at about the crotch area. Because you were in front of a desk, you were behind a desk or a table or whatever.
Yep.
And it looked weird, just kind of half your body hanging out on the tower. I was like, well, I got to add some legs. I can either draw them or I can find clip art legs. And I found some clip art legs.
Good job.
Look nice.
Good job. Yeah. Those are definitely my legs.
Mm-hmm.
You can find that at Happer Show on Twitter. I also like the tweet from Todd, who says, just move to FM.
Ooh, Todd, I like it.
Great idea. Breaking news, though. Even if you move to FM, you still have to have tower maintenance sometimes.
Yeah.
So we're working on it. All right. We're working on it. Bryan Christopherson is going to join us here in just a few minutes. We still have to set things up, and we'll do that coming back next here on 1620 The Zone. But it is time for Super Wildcard Weekend, and FanDuel's got you covered. FanDuel's America's #1 sportsbook. I don't know. People forget that sometimes. New customers join today. Get started with $150 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. All you got to do is sign up using the promo code HAPPER. FanDuel has all your favorite bets, money line, point spreads, player props, same game parlays. They're big too. But I'm taking a look this weekend at some of you could go to the tab that says weekly specials. And there is so much to choose from on here about each team scoring at least one touchdown wildcard weekend. Do you feel confident about the Miami Dolphins scoring at least one touchdown? You can get that at plus 140. There are specific player props that you could throw out there. Same game parlays for each of them. So there are great specials and same game parlays that you can cook up yourself for wildcard weekend. You can do it all on an app that's safe, secure, and easy to use. So don't miss out. Place your first $5 bet to get $150 in free bets, win or lose, with the promo code HAPPER. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and over, present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
The Super Wildcard round of the NFL playoffs continues with a special Sunday triple header. Hi, this is Scott Graham. Join me and the rest of our Westwood One crew for all the action. First, the Dolphins and Bills meet in Buffalo. Then it's the New York Giants and Minnesota Vikings. And the night finishes with the Ravens and the Bengals. Coverage begins at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. From the wild card round all the way to Super Bowl 57 in Arizona, the NFL playoffs are right here.
If it's the NFL, it's on 1620 The Zone.
Dust. It's in the living room, the bedroom, and the bathroom. It's also in your lungs. Let's fix that, shall we? Duck Defense Midwest offers a comprehensive system that cleans, disinfects, filters, and purifies the air. They'll make your home healthier and improve the life of your HVAC system. So improve the health of your home and everyone in it. Go to cleanairradio.com right now for a special air duct cleaning offer for Zone listeners. cleanairradio.com.
Let me get you up to speed on the service that you need.
Brian recently had us tow his all-wheel drive Mercedes from another shop. He was told it needed a new transmission for over $4,000. As it turned out, the reason he had no Ford was because his front CV axle was bad. We replaced the axle for a few $100 and he was back on the road.
Transmission, shifting to running smooth.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep your operation running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, Maria in Miami, and Jules in Troy, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with high-quality supplies for every industry, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
News Talk 1290 is the new home for Omaha Maverick women's basketball all season long. Don't miss any of the Maverick action as they try to make their mark on the Summit League this season. Omaha Mavericks women's basketball is on News Talk 1290.
The Creighton women's basketball team had their deepest run ever in March, making it all the way to the Elite Eight. Find out how far they will go this season. Don't miss any of the action all year long on 1180 The Zone or on News Talk 1290. Coil.
There's no other way to say it. Divorce is a punch to the stomach.
Brent Rasmussen of Mortgage Specialists.
When you're going through a divorce, there are so many things to deal with. Aside from the emotional aspects, the financial issues that go along with a divorce can be just as difficult. You'd think buying a house while you're going through a divorce would be out of the question, but not in all cases. Many lenders will tell you that isn't possible, but Mortgage Specialists helps people who are going through a divorce on a regular basis. Just ask Philip Katz.
As soon as they can nail down that they'll be approved for a mortgage or so forth, it just relaxes them a lot because they know that the foundational pieces of their security and the continuity are in place.
Whatever the goal, Mortgage Specialists can help you reach it. Mortgage Specialists. Driven, trusted, reliable.
Click mtg-specialists.com. NMLS number 5918, Equal Housing Lender.
It's the lowest month-to-month rate of the year with no contract and no enrollment fees at Genesis Health Clubs. It won't get any lower than this, and enrollment fees are waived to celebrate 2023. Hurry, just one day left. Hi, I'm Rodney Steven. It's the new year, and you have set your New Year's resolutions, right? Well, it's time to go. I have good news and bad news for you. The bad news is, if you don't get started, your New Year's resolutions won't happen, and you'll be in the same place next year. You have to take that first step and build habits that will change your life forever. One of my favorite quotes is, if it is to be, it is up to me. And that is absolutely true. And we know you can do it. We'll help you every step of the way. We help hundreds of thousands of people reach their fitness goals each year. And what about you this year? Join Genesis Health Clubs for our lowest month-to-month rate that we'll offer in all of 2023. Plus, no enrollment fees and no contracts. One day left. It will not get any better than this. Join at GenesisHealthClubs.com now because this special won't last. Hurry, just one day left.
Chuck tweets in, ooh, what is ska? What is ska, Chuck?
Come on now.
Ska is ska. A lot of trumpets going on.
A style of fast popular music having a strong offbeat and originating in Jamaica in the 1960s. A forerunner of reggae. Really?
Huh.
I didn't know the back half of that. Are you saying white people stole a type of music from non-white
No, it
people?
says it preceded reggae.
Oh, it preceded reggae. Okay.
Isn't that what you said?
That is what I read.
Okay. So
we're even.
Yep, 1-1. 1-1. Welcome in. We already have cut off a good portion of the show here today due to our ideas and making the Ralston Entertainment District and talking to Bryan Munson. But happy Friday. Yes, if you haven't noticed, if you turn on 1620 The Zone in your AM radio, you will hear... we're still on in the bathroom, by the way. We went into the bathroom.
I believe that's a dedicated feed with... I have no idea what it is. Oh, here we go.
This is call number 1 of the day. Where are you? Fix it. We're working on it. Remember, I'm on the tower. But welcome in. Happy Friday. It is Super Wildcard Weekend. We'll talk plenty about that as we go on throughout the show. Plenty of Husker stuff. Bryan Christopherson will join next, and Steve Sipple in the 1 o'clock hour. The lineup is powered by the rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. We'll go through a few other things as well, including the basketball games this weekend. Nebraska attempting to not be bludgeoned tonight at Purdue. And Creighton in a must-win at home against Providence tomorrow, and we'll head into the Ed Cooley respect corner as we always have to when Providence comes to town. Like I said, the lineup powered by the referees, John Higgins Weather Guard. Feel free to tweet at the show at Happer Show, at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Email Connor at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank inbox. They're all available to you because they're all run on the internet. Internet, always there for us.
It's a series of tubes and wires and cones.
Many have said that the internet always works, and it will again today. In fact, that's the only way. 1620thezone.com is the best way to do it, as we always say. Bryan Christopherson, Husker 24/7. Lot to catch up with him, including yesterday, getting to meet a couple new Husker assistants like Evan Cooper and EJ Barthel. Some running back talk.
Oh, yeah.
That's right, running backs. People forget EJ Barthel was a fullback himself. EJ Barthel getting a little emotional yesterday when talking about his guys that he left behind at UConn.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We'll get into that and more with Bryan Christopherson, Husker 24/7, next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
From sports medicine to spine, bone, and joint problems, Nebraska Medicine is your home for the region's most comprehensive orthopedic care. Our specialists have the unmatched expertise to diagnose and treat common and complex problems, with surgery being a last resort. With multiple locations, our leading care is miles ahead, yet close to home. For orthopedic advances, this is where you begin. Visit nebraskamed.com/ortho.
Home is with you wherever that may be.
Guys, let's face it, there is a time when you just need to get out of the house, to have your own place, to be with the guys, or just a quiet, relaxing place for yourself. Well, Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge hears you loud and clear. Settle in. Escape to Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge for an incredible selection, plus premium cocktails, a knowledgeable, friendly staff, state-of-the-art humidor, and incredible lounge. Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, just off I-680 at 48th Street, next to Covey's.
1620 The Zone will be on location Friday, January 27th at the American Cancer Society's Hope Lodge, Nebraska. Stop by and drop off a donation of paper products, gift cards, or cash. Listen to 1620 The Zone and visit cancer.org/pinkout. Saturday, the Blue Jays are back at home as they face defending Big East regular season champion Providence. Pre-game coverage starts with Robbie Lula at 11:30 a.m. Tip-off is at 1. The Blue Jays, Saturday on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg.
Make a New Year's resolution that's easy to keep. Help protect your identity and finances with LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. LifeLock detects identity threats you may miss on your own. And if you become a victim, LifeLock will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. Join now and save up to 25% off your first year. Go to LifeLock.com Use promo code NEWS.
Hey friends, Kent Pavelka here, back with John Higgins and the Rooferees at the Weather Guard showroom. A lot of people will, I had some bids here and just got to go with this guy.
We always ask the customer, did you get the referrals on those companies? Do your homework and check how long they've been in business. We try to stay really competitive. Doesn't matter if it's a Da Vinci wood shingle, asphalt shingle, vinyl siding, or hardy siding.
Just go with somebody who has the track record, right?
Right.
There's only one call to make. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
You can find pizza anywhere. But when you want pizza pie piled high with more toppings, that's when you come to my place, Godfather's Pizza. For a limited time, get your hands on 2 of my large one-topping pizzas. Pick pepperoni, beef, black olives, you choose. All this food for only $29. Feed your whole mob without breaking the bank. Hey, it's an offer you can't refuse. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
Yeah, excuse me. We'll catch up with Bryan Christopherson of Husker 24/7 here in just a second. Adam Schefter with a tweet. We're waiting on a little bit more injury news as we continue on today. Lamar Jackson, what will happen with him? We know Tua is out. Here's another one for Super Wildcard Weekend. Chargers wide receiver Mike Williams suffered a fracture in his back last Sunday. That is expected to sideline him the next 2 to 3 weeks, meaning that barring a Chargers Super Bowl run, his season is over. I remind you that the Chargers were locked in to a 5 seed, and that game meant nothing, and it just so happened that their best or second best receiver, most consistent all year in Mike Williams, broke his back. There's a fracture in his back.
Some might call that a fireable offense.
Totally normal. Totally normal. We bring in Bryan Christopherson of Husker 24/7. Speaking of Wildcard Weekend, BC vibe check. How we feeling? Are we letting it all hang out today?
I mean, my honest pick is the Giants are going to win by. It'll be within a touchdown. It'll be a close game. It'll be the Vikings' first one-score loss of the season, I believe. That's what my prediction is.
If that's the guarantee of the weekend, I don't know what is. This game will be decided by less than 7 points. There's absolutely no doubt about it.
Yeah, and I know. Listen, I know I've been on the radio, and I sound like whiner Viking fan that can't be happy that his team's 13-4. They've overachieved. I'm really happy with Kevin O'Connell and that team. I just don't have a great feeling about this week. I don't know. They might have one more win in them though, and then I think the party ends. But I think they've maximized this year, and I'm proud of the boys. I'm proud to call them my boys. So I hope we get it done, and the Viking horn is annoyingly coming over TV sets across the country Sunday afternoon, just nonstop.
If I'm not mistaken, I think your colleague Mike Schaefer, who is also a Vikings fan, famously, is sort of confident in your boys this weekend. So I'm glad you two are there to even each other out.
Yeah, that's probably good. Schaefer's always right on the Vikings, just like he was about what he thought Justin Jefferson when they drafted him. I'm just he wasn't big on that pick. I like to give him guff about it sometimes.
All right, BC, I've been asked. I actually asked your other colleague, Michael Bruntz, this yesterday, and so I'll ask you: are you interested in purchasing Donnie Coin, which is basically the Donovan Raiola cryptocurrency that we have created?
Donnie Coin. I probably won't jump in on that yet, but I like the concept, and I am humored by the thought of it, and also what's on it? Like, is there a picture of something on this coin?
Yeah, I don't think there's actually a coin. I
know it's not an actual thing, but is there like a logo that's like associated with it that people could recognize?
Yeah, I think it has his face on it. I don't know how recognizable it is, but yeah, it's there.
Okay. I'm not going to do that yet, but if this is leading to Donnie Raiola on a hot streak, yes, he is.
I mean, with Walter Rouse and I think the biggest thing that does is gives you the ability to sort of shuffle the other pieces on the offensive line. And then he's been one of the guys that, we've talked to a good portion now of the coaching staff that Matt Rule hired. And he's a guy that sort of consistently comes up. And yesterday that guy was sort of Garrett McGuire. And maybe some of that is, hey, I know the narratives and I know what people are talking about here. But it seems to be that, it's gotten off to a good start where maybe last year he started on the wrong foot by no fault of his own.
Yeah, I mean, those portal additions are huge for Iowa. Ben Scott, first off, back when he committed at the end of December, I mean, that's a veteran center starter. So you fill up, I think, one of the hardest spots on the field to play. I mean, center, you're the command center of the offense. It's really hard for a guy who hasn't done it before to jump into that role and immediately be effective. And so Ben Scott was able to sort of work out what it means to play that position last year at Arizona State. And, that probably takes away some sleepless nights right there for Iowa. Just like, okay, that guy's there, and now you can work around that. Walter Rouse, 4-year starter at left tackle at Stanford, and he played through some injury last year with the labrum situation, I believe. So he might be on the mend for a little bit while he's in Lincoln. But people need to factor that in. I know sometimes
that's a good point.
Pro Football Focus rankings get thrown around, and his were like a little bit down last year. Well, he wasn't fully healthy, I don't think, for most of the season. So people need to know that. But if you look at his full track record, he has very solid ratings about how he's played. And, you have to do something right to be like a 3 or 4 year starter in college. That's not easy to do. So is he the automatic left tackle? I don't think you can say that. I think that's what they talked about with him, and that will be his goal and his plan. And if he is up to it, it definitely does give you that flexibility where, Corcoran could be on the other side, or he could go to the interior. And we haven't even brought up that, Nuri Nuili's back,
I always make sure to mention that one. That's important.
Yeah. And he was, one of their most consistent guys prior to the suspension. So things are looking up there. It's all sort of on paper right now. And so I understand that there's skeptics in this state and this fan base who are like, yeah, I've heard this before about the O-line. But I think this time they have to at least acknowledge there's some veteran guys who have played a lot of football that are, are coming into this program now. And those two additions from the portal are huge. And I know that people would have liked them to get the guy out of Baylor, Mazuka, earlier in the week. But, batting 2 out of 3, that's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad at all. Yesterday on the running backs, EJ Barthel talking and speaking of the portal, they were like, yeah, we didn't feel like we needed to go there. We avoided it. So that's going to be the group with Grant and AJ Allen and Gabe Irvin and Ramir Johnson. And then there's still Emmett Johnson and then a recruit that they brought in Quentin Ives. I mean, isn't that the thought for that room the same as it is like for the offensive line where, if you get an identity and you get sort of everybody working together and you get an offense that works, that running back room could be a little bit more productive than it was a year ago. We saw Grant, really go off in the first couple of games of the season and then completely fall off a cliff in like the last 4 games of last year. And that has a lot to do with what the offense looked like. I guess, what was the sense you got from Barthel and what he sees in that room without physically, coaching those guys yet?
I think he really likes the room, it sounded like. And again, it's the off season of Ramir, maybe, like it feels like that happens every year. I mean, he had the big 21 season, and then there was a lot of excitement about what he was going to be this past year. And then he didn't hardly play until the very end. And people again are like, okay, maybe that's the end of the Ramir story at Nebraska. Well, Ramir's from the same area that Barthel knows very well. And he knows his skill set well. I think from his New Jersey days. And I think also understands what he did in 21. So I don't discount Ramir along with Grant and A.J. Allen. And the other guys will be interesting too. Like, Emmett Johnson did start to crack the travel roster, I think, at the very end of the season last year. So I like the fact that he, even brought up Emmett Johnson and like looking at his like practice special teams take and how he like goes about his work and stuff like that. That's just sort of a dedication on the first month on the job to get to know your guys. But I think probably the takeaway moment, honestly, wasn't words. It was when he broke down or got choked up, I should say, talking about his guys at UConn, who he only coached for 1 year. I mean, that's a year, but it's only a year. And that bond was so deep that you could tell even as he started, I was like, I think he's going to get emotional here, and he did. And if I'm a player in that Husker locker room or a running back watching that, I'm like, I kind of like that. My coach, that's something you can't fake. I mean, there's a care there for his players that he just left behind that was obvious in that answer. And I thought really it was one of the probably the biggest takeout moments from the press conference yesterday.
You wrote a little bit too, BC, about the youth, and then that turned into a conversation about sort of hunger on the coaching staff. Where do you feel like that translates the most? Now, we haven't seen it on the practice field yet, or especially in games yet, and that'll be the thing that people care about the most, obviously. But it obviously shows in recruiting, and coaches are back out on the road today. That's where we're noticing it first. But I think there's a lot of areas where that can sort of impact, and that's the way they went with their staff. I guess where do you think that the hunger, and where it might be, you might trade it off for some inexperience, but is that a fair trade at the end of the day?
Well, I think so. I mean, I think one area where it could be is like just in the meeting rooms, and that just desire to learn from the person next to you. Like when you're up and coming and you don't think you know everything yet. And I'm not saying a guy who's 45 or 50 thinks that too, but especially when you're just starting, you do want to hear other people's opinions, and you really take that to heart. And I mean, even Tony White talked about it, and Tony White, he's late 30s, and he's one of the actually older guys on the coaching staff in some ways. But he talked about, he used the phrase, you want to be the dumbest guy in the room. And what he means is you want to be around people who have really bright ideas. And I think it also speaks to, you want to be a listener. You want to be an active listener who's taking in the input and being like, okay, I haven't thought about it that way. And, you take it or leave it, but you're always thinking about it, and there's that open line of communication. And so I think the staff, you get the sense they're going to do pretty well at that, because a lot of them, even though maybe they're younger, but they've known each other a while through different alleys, so whether they were together at Baylor, Carolina, or Temple, it feels like everybody's sort of connected in some way or another. So it's not like it's like, oh, you put your name tag on, there's none of that going on around there. So I think that's an advantage too. I just think sometimes that you could go in any profession. I do think there's something to be said, and I'm saying this as a guy who's 41 now. When you're in your 25 to 35 age range, I feel like there's just like that sort of like, let's set this thing up, let's go. Like there is that energy, right, in that era, I think, of your life that is very real. I've noticed in all sorts of professions, and including mine. And so I think it applies to football as well. Yeah. I also think quickly on Garrett McGuire, Connor. I mean, I know we're going to say he's 23, 24, and that's going to get repeated ad nauseum. He's a coach's son, Joey McGuire, head coach at Texas Tech. That means something too. Those guys who are coaches' sons, I'm telling you, when you interview them, they're different. They're like 10 years or 15 years ahead of everybody else, because they've grown up like with the football life since they could walk, so you got to almost count their age like in dog years or something, because they've just been around the game so much that they breathe it in and out. That's really all they've done since they're 5 years old. So I think that's probably the case with him too.
Yeah, no doubt about it. BC, great stuff as always. Appreciate it, and we'll talk next week.
Yep, thanks a lot.
Brian Christopherson, Husker247.com.
So who's going to win, the Vikings or the Giants?
We'll pick later.
I'm getting conflicting reports.
It depends on who you ask. I love the emotional hedge by both teams' fan bases, which is, we're just happy to be here, man. I'm proud of BC said I'm proud of my boys. Same thing with Robin earlier. We got a Giants question in the market. We go to Robin Washit, and he says, the future is not here yet. We are ahead of schedule. Well, somebody's got to win a playoff game on Saturday or Sunday afternoon. So, I don't know. We'll pick that a little bit later on in the show. We'll come back with the odd news. The title of our stream today: Shaq ate a frog.
We'll discuss.
Seems odd, right?
Very.
Next on 1620 The Zone.
1620 The Zone wants you to win Gary's booty. Whoa, wait, what? Win $100 or more every weekday on Mornings with Sharp and Hanley. Listen during the 6 and 8 o'clock hours for Gary and Nick to give you their stat of the day. Then during the 7 and 9 a.m. hours, listen for the cue to call, know the stat, and win a buttload of cash. Answer it correctly, and Gary's booty gets even bigger. Yep, we'll keep adding $100 to the booty bank till the correct answer's given on air. Win your share of Gary's booty on Mornings with Sharp and Hanley with 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Cold and quiet to finish off the week Friday. Expect clouds in the morning with more afternoon sunshine. Wind will be light to calm most of the day with highs around 30. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Omaha hockey is back in action when they welcome Minnesota Duluth to Baxter Arena tonight. Pregame is at 7 p.m. Puck drops at 7:36. It's UNO versus Minnesota Duluth tonight on your home for Maverick Hockey. News Talk 1290 Coil.
Do something fun with the family. Come downtown and go to the auto show, January 20th through the 22nd at the CHI Health Center. Get inside the newest cars, trucks, and SUVs and see some of the hottest electric cars like the Hyundai Ioniq 5. Race a NASCAR remote control car. See beautiful classic cars and visit the Subaru Pet Adoption. Free admission for veterans on Friday. Get out and go to the auto show, January 20th through the 22nd. Find more at OmahaAutoShow.com.
Coming back from a serious injury is a win that requires teamwork. At Berry Law, we're in it to win it.
Call Berry Law today, 402-999-7777.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep your operation running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, Maria in Miami, and Jules in Troy, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with high-quality supplies for every industry, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you're like most Americans, you can see things are out of control. Global problems have local consequences, too many of them. And if the next news headline spins us into chaos, you'd better be ready. Grocery store supply chains are only as strong as their weakest link. Don't wait for them to break. Today's the day to secure emergency food for everyone in your family. My Patriot Supply is America's largest preparedness company. Our specially packaged and delicious food stays fresh for up to 25 years in storage. It'll be there when you need it. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and pick up several emergency food kits. There are a dozen different sizes that average over 2,000 calories per day. As we all know, calories equals energy equals survival. And as you'd expect from a true preparedness company, our food kits are in stock and ship quickly. Those who know what's coming are preparing today. Go to mypatriotsupply.com. mypatriotsupply.com.
The Creighton women's basketball team had their deepest run ever in March, making it all the way to the Elite Eight. Find out how far they will go this season. Don't miss any of the action all year long on 1180 The Zone or on News Talk 1290. Coil.
Football fans, call your own plays during the NFL playoffs with FanDuel. It is America's #1 sportsbook because when you bet NFL same-game parlays from now through January 16th, all customers can get up to $100 in free bets, win or lose. Nick, all you have to do is place a total of $20 or more on NFL same-game parlay or same-game parlay plus bets during the wild card round. And you know what? The more you bet, the more you'll get back in free bets.
Yeah, NFL same-game parlays are the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at a larger payday. How about that big Monday night matchup between Dak and Tom Brady? Build your own or choose from one of our popular SGPs pre-built for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. New to FanDuel Sportsbook, you can also get up to $100 in free bets, win or lose when signing up with promo code ZONE. That's promo code ZONE. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in Iowa. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet $100. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbookfanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
Right, so that call, Josh, during the break, that runs our daily total to 3?
Yeah, we're at 3 today, which surpasses the 2 from yesterday. Yesterday was scheduled. Today,
we gave a little less notice.
Yeah.
A little less notice. But we do anticipate, no guarantees, but we anticipate being back on air by the time this show ends.
Right. That's what we've been told.
Theoretically.
And we can only go by what we've been told.
That's right. Jeffy Smack tweets in.
Hi, Jeffy Smack.
What the heck, man? Sharp gets to be on air, but you guys get the boot again. How long does it take to service a tower anyway? Start the F-bombs. It's worth it now. Hashtag afternoon hosts are people too.
I think we've earned an F-bomb.
I physically can't bring myself to it.
Oh, no.
There's just no way.
I'd be sick for days.
No.
Just waiting.
Like I said, I've done podcasts before where, I have no problem with it. It's just when I'm here and all the stuff is on and it's 10 o'clock and I flip that switch, it's just not happening.
It's a no swear zone.
It's just not happening. I'm sorry. I apologize, but I will not be cussing today.
I know that's what many of you wanted.
I will be doing an average job as usual.
Yeah. We're going to try and keep the show exactly the same.
Yeah, but we'll not be cussing. Odd news, Josh.
Yes, we begin with the fine folks at the Emmy Award-winning Inside the NBA last night. There was a little wager on Monday's national championship game between TCU and Georgia. Ernie, big Georgia boy.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Shaq spoke up for the Horned Frogs.
That's right, he did.
And I don't know if you know this, Georgia won 65-7.
He said, Ernie, if TCU does win, I will eat a frog.
Now, I don't know the front end of this bet. Was Ernie going to have to eat dog legs?
I don't remember what it was. I saw the video this morning. I didn't see what Ernie wagered. All I heard Shaq go, I'll eat a frog.
I'm a man of my word. And Ernie brought him the frog legs, and he ate the frog legs last night. They were fried.
He ate the whole frog, man.
Yeah.
It was the whole frog.
He didn't seem to have a problem with it.
No. Have you ever eaten a frog?
I have not. No.
I don't think I've eaten the full frog, but I have eaten frog legs, and it's pretty normal.
He had a dipping sauce as well.
As long as they're fried.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could fry like a quarter and eat it.
Well, that's a poll question.
I mean, it'd probably not be very good, but it would taste better than a regular quarter, an unfried quarter.
I think that's fair.
That's the point. And that's basically why we've decided to fry things that probably don't need to be fried at all. or shouldn't even be eaten at all. Like crickets.
Oh yeah, no, and
We're not usually frying crickets though.
There's always someone who's quick to tell you, "Oh, they're a delicacy.
they're good.
They're a delicacy in Sri Lanka."
Seattle. You can go to Seattle at the Mariners game and just order them off of the concession stand.
Like it's nothing.
Yep. I have a little package of crickets.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I'll be getting a hot dog.
We hop in a plane. We go to Stockholm for story number 2.
Sweden.
I'm going to read the headline. Swedish government moves to get rid of permits needed for dancing.
Oh, you needed a permit for dancing?
Apparently, let's find out more.
Let's read.
Sweden's center-right coalition government wants to cut red tape when it comes to dancing by abolishing a decade-old requirement for restaurants, nightclubs, and other venues to obtain permits before they let patrons shimmy and sway. The proposal made Thursday means the venues no longer would need a license to organize dances. Instead, as a general rule, they would only have to register with the police, which can be done verbally and does not cost anything. Applying for a permit incurs a fee of at least 700 kroner.
Let's get the conversion board out.
It's $67.
$67 to dance?
Yeah.
I'd rather just not dance.
Yeah. Doesn't seem worth it to me.
Well, good poll question. Would you pay $67 to dance?
Yeah.
Or to have the ability to dance? And otherwise you couldn't dance.
I don't think I would.
No, I wouldn't.
No.
No.
I
Even
don't-
if it was just one, I assume you have to re-up this like every year.
Sure.
Even if it was just one for my whole life, I've never felt like I've had to dance.
I don't think I've gotten $67 worth of dancing in my lifetime.
I'm more like, I like to be out on the dance floor
Mm-hmm.
at weddings and stuff like that. Like, I'm not going to be the guy sitting off to the side and just hanging out and talking or whatever. I'll be on the dance floor because that's where the action is. But I mean, dancing is...
It's for the birds.
It's not what I'm doing. I'm just sort of standing around.
If you were to take that away from me, I would not be sad in any
No, I
way.
actually don't think anything would change. I
Yeah.
just don't dance really.
Yeah. So congratulations, Sweden, for breaking out of your footloose stage.
Yep. Poll questions up. At Happer Show, would you pay $67 for the right to dance?
I would not.
Okay.
And finally, a story out of minor league baseball. Are you familiar with the
robot ups?
Well, yeah, no, that's not as odd because we kind of knew that was coming, but I imagine we'll get into that. Maybe not today, but Monday.
I'm re-triggered. I'm triggered again. Congratulations, Major League Baseball.
Are you familiar with the Feagles?
The Philadelphia Eagles?
No, the Feagles. They are both named Brady. Coincidentally, they are both minor league baseball pitchers.
Oh no, I've never heard of the Feagles.
Okay. Well, Brady Feagle, 32 years old, is a player for the Long Island Ducks.
Oh, I know the Long Island Ducks. I've been to a game before.
Okay. There's also a 27-year-old version of Brady Feagle, who is a pitcher for the Las Vegas Aviators.
Uh-huh.
Both are 6 feet 4 inches tall.
Oh, they look exactly the same.
Yeah, both have fiery red hair.
Yeah.
And they both wear glasses.
And they're not related.
They are not related in any way. They took a test. Why is this in the news today?
I've seen this a lot before. I've seen this on TikTok.
An August 2022 study of 32 pairs found that people who look alike yet are not related share genetic similarities. So maybe that's why.
Oh, we share a lot of genetic similarities, all of us.
But they have the same name. They look exactly alike. The story goes in 2015, they were mistaken for one another when they both had the exact same elbow surgery from Dr. James Andrews.
Unbelievable.
One of the Bradys went in there, got the surgery. It was fine. 6 months later, the other one comes in, and his nurse, his assistant says, "At what time is Brady Feagle coming in for his elbow surgery?" And the doc goes, "That was 6 months ago. I don't know what you're talking about." And they go, "No, he's back." And the doctor freaked out, like, "No, my gosh, what? I'm Dr. James Andrews. I don't ever do a surgery wrong."
Right.
And they found, oh, this is a different guy.
Holy smokes. Watch out for those Fiegel guys.
Yeah, they're friends.
They'll get you.
They'll get you. Brady Fiegel and Brady Fiegel.
Can I add something here?
Please. This is a community segment.
Have you been tracking the happenings at the Dallas Zoo today?
Oh, no, I have not.
We have a situation brewing.
I love a zoo situation.
Here is a thread of tweets from the Dallas Zoo. The zoo is closed today due to a serious situation. That's one tweet by itself. Follow-up. We have an ongoing situation at the zoo right now with a code blue.
Ooh.
That is a non-dangerous animal that is out of its habitat.
Okay.
One of our clouded leopards was not in its habitat when the team arrived this morning and is unaccounted for at this time.
Oh.
Dallas PD is on site assisting with the search. The zoo is closed today as we work to find and recover the animal. Given the nature of these animals, we believe the animal is still on the grounds and just hiding. We will share more updates as we can and information. And then the zoo says, our focus right now is on locating the animal.
Sure.
That last tweet came in at 10:22. It's now nearly 2 hours later, and we do not have a found leopard yet.
Okay. Yeah, you're going to want to find that leopard.
You're going to want to find that leopard.
Hot take,
It's
I know.
pretty important. You just find that leopard.
You will want to find him or her.
It's just hiding. Non-dangerous, though. You buy that? I'm not sure
I'm
I do.
going to call a leopard dangerous.
Yeah, I was thinking a leopard would crush everything.
Poll question, are leopards dangerous?
Yeah, I think so. I don't want to approach a leopard, that's for sure.
Now, I understand it's a zoo. Maybe they've declawed it or something, but it still has teeth.
Code blue.
And is a wild animal.
Well, watch out if it goes to the next color of code color.
It's got to be orange, yellow, or red, right?
I mean, they just had a code blue. It's code blue. Code blue means a non-dangerous animal that's just gone.
Oh, look at that. What's happening? Trending in the United States. Dallas Zoo.
Still no updates from the Dallas Zoo as of 2 hours ago.
Dallas Zoo closed because one of the leopards has not been spotted.
Nice.
Seeing that joke a lot.
And that's the odd news.
Oh, wait.
Well, do we have an update?
No, but somebody tweeted the Dallas
pun?
story and said, the Dallas Zoo saying leopards are non-dangerous reaffirms my belief that I could fight off a cheetah if necessary.
So now this is just turning into an argument about what people can fight as animals.
Yep.
I don't believe this. I think this animal is dangerous.
Sure looks like it.
It's a leopard.
Uh-huh. Animals tend to freak out,
Yeah. So I hope everything ends okay.
There's a couple IG pages my wife follows where they're like big cat houses.
Absolutely.
Not to be confused with the other type of cat house that Lamar Odom frequented.
Yeah.
But they just act like big kitty cats. Like they're just sweet and friendly.
So this one just maybe thinks it's just playing hide and seek.
Maybe, but I imagine if you cornered a leopard, it might gnarl some teeth at you. Don't like.
Jags by 100 this weekend.
Oh, that's right.
We're up next on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
The Super Wildcard round of the NFL playoffs kicks off with a special Saturday doubleheader. Hi, this is Scott Graham. Join me and the rest of our Westwood One crew for all the action. First, the Seattle Seahawks take on their NFC West rivals, the San Francisco 49ers. Then it's the Chargers and Jaguars from Jacksonville. Coverage begins at 4 p.m. Eastern. From the Wildcard round all the way to Super Bowl 57 in Arizona, the NFL playoffs are right here.
If it's the NFL, it's on 1620 The Zone.
You can find pizza anywhere. But when you want pizza pie piled high with more toppings, that's when you come to my place, Godfather's Pizza. For a limited time, get your hands on 2 of my large one-topping pizzas. Pick pepperoni, beef, black olives, you choose. All this food for only $29. Feed your whole mob without breaking the bank. Hey, it's an offer you can't refuse. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Give your business a whole host of options with Host Coffee. The most impressive selection of office coffee, water options, healthy food options, and vending technologies. Host Coffee, serving you since '72. Be a part of the Host Coffee team today. If you'd like to work for a trusted and loyal family-owned company that understands the needs of working families, Host Coffee has your opportunity. Apply at hostcoffee.net.
At Baker's, no matter where you order free pickup, you get the same great deals as you'd get in store. So you can save when you order during band practice or at the dog park or wherever. Start your cart with the Baker's app and save from wherever today. Baker's, fresh for everyone. $35 order minimum. Restrictions may apply. Subject to availability.
And right now, you can save when you shop your faves. Just buy 6 or more participating sale items and save 50 cents each with your card. Baker's, fresh for everyone.
Listen to Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay Overtime, the Creighton men's basketball postgame show on 1620 The Zone. Live from DJ's Dugout downtown. It's right after every home game, presented by Barry Law. Exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone.
Listen to the Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot-around and overtime shows. The Creighton men's basketball pregame and postgame shows on 1620 The Zone. The Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot-around and overtime shows are also presented by Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More, by Barry Law, by Union Bank and Trust, and by DJ's Dugout. Before and after each Creighton game, exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone, 1620 The Zone mobile app, and 1620thezone.com.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Who will be the person this weekend in the NFL who does the Stephon Diggs and watches the celebration as it happens on the field and people get a picture of it? I believe it was J.J. McCarthy of the Michigan Wolverines who took it all in after they lost the playoff to TCU.
Just want to use it as extra motivation going into next year.
Well, I really wish J.J. Watt was in the playoffs because he would be that guy. But as Josh has mentioned before, he's not in the playoffs.
Nope.
Weird that he's not in the playoffs.
Weird. I mean, you think he'd be used to it.
Once again, we'll keep you updated on the Dallas Zoo situation. If you Google "is a leopard dangerous," you will find about the exact opposite of what the Dallas Zoo is attempting to tell you right now.
Oh no.
So
they have to be damn sure that thing is on the premises,
within its walls.
Yes.
Otherwise, we have a completely different situation going on in Dallas right now.
Because then you're 2 or 3 hours behind the leopard.
There's no perimeter you could set on the leopard. It could be anywhere. Could have hopped on a train by now.
He's wearing a trench coat and sunglasses.
Here's your next Photoshop idea.
Yeah, I got my ticket right here. It's fine.
Okay. How about this? So we talked pretty extensively with Munson last hour about Nebraska's efforts in Texas and just how present they are going to be. The addition, first of all, the addition of Rule, who has connections there, broke into that family when he became the coach at Baylor.
I'm sorry, you said Rule. You mean Rule? Matt Rule.
Oh, yeah.
Head coach in Nebraska.
Matt Rule. Matt Rule. Yeah. We'll get Sipple to describe him in great detail when we have him on in little under an hour. But with the addition of Matt Rule, you're able to
have some pre-existing Texas connections already. A couple people from your staff who were with Matt Rule at Baylor. And then the addition of Bob Wager, who was a prominent figure in the high school coaching community down there. And he now joins the full-time staff to become the tight ends coach. How about this one? An interesting one. A couple of the local publications have reported this overnight and into the morning now. Football Scoop is now added on top. Matt Rule working to hire Texas high school executive as his Nebraska chief of staff. So, there's already Garrett McGuire and Bob Wager and everybody else who's on the staff with the Texas connections. But as Football Scoop writes, here's another move that'll show Rule's intention to recruit Texas. Sources tell Football Scoop that Rule is working to hire University Interscholastic League athletic director Dr. Susan Elza as his chief of staff in Lincoln. Elza is the chief of executive over athletics for the governing body of Texas high schools. So basically the NSAA executive, the equivalent here in the state of Nebraska and Texas. A former high school softball coach, Elza transitioned to the athletics administration at the school district level in the DFW area. Dallas, she's got to get out of Dallas. There's a leopard on the loose. Before making the move to Austin. The relationship between Rule and Elza dates back to when Rule first landed the job at Baylor in 2017. Rule hired a number of Texas high school coaches, including Joey McGuire, as people know. And a couple other people on his staff, including David Wetzel, who was a San Antonio high school coach and the president of the Texas High School Coaches Association at the time. As part of that network building, Rule brought Elza and the UIL executive staff to Waco for a visit, and then the relationship sort of budded from there. Elza will join the Texas High School Athletic Director Association Hall of Honor later this year, and it is possible that Matt Rule is looking to add to his staff and the chief of staff. The chief of staff is the role that was formerly occupied by Jared Lambrecht under Scott Frost. And so that is interesting. And all these put together are really interesting. And Nebraska is all the way back in Texas. All the way back in Texas.
And quick, too.
Yeah. And the relationships there are going to be really, really strong. And, when you add in Tiny Baby Boy plus Wager plus your chief of staff now and Dr. Elza, you're going to have pretty much a connection and Matt Rule. You're going to have basically a connection to any high school in the state that you'd like to hop into. And really, I think where this sort of shows itself more often than not, it's less so than we play it out like that, where, hey, if you're interested in a kid, you can come in. It is more likely than not, if you have that really good relationship, you're going to be the first to hear about a kid that nobody else is hearing about. You can have the inside track to first offers on, blooming 5 stars, blooming 4 stars, whatever it might be. And yeah, their recruitment might blow up and you might not get them in the first place, but developing relationships is obviously going to be big here. They're going to be in Texas. So yet another interesting addition to Matt Rule's staff. And once again, it goes back to that bigger picture that we were talking a little bit about with Munson earlier. What kind of recruiting operation is this going to be? My sense is the ceiling is quite high. Quite high. Really, really, really interesting hire there out of the state of Texas. Eric, texted into the show about the leopards.
Hi, Eric.
He'd like a graphic of me or the leopard in a trench coat and sunglasses trying to hop on a train.
All right, we'll whip it up probably during the Sipple interview.
Josh is like the on-demand Photoshop guy now. It's really pretty funny, actually.
We can make that happen. That's doable for sure.
Brian tweets in. He says, if the leopard made it onto a train, it's officially made it further than the 4 animals the Brooklyn Zoo made it when trying to escape. They got taken out by a little old lady at Grand Central Station.
Oh, that's right.
The Central Park Zoo. The Central Park Zoo. Still no updates. I have my tweet notifications on from the Dallas Zoo.
Oh, good. Because either way, whichever way it goes, you're going to want to be on top of that story.
We need the next update.
I need closure.
Whatever it might be. It's going on almost 2 hours now since Dallas Zoo's last tweet, and everybody is waiting patiently on this one. Hayden tweets in. He says, so there's a leopard on the loose in Dallas, and simultaneously Rule is potentially got a cougar for chief of staff. I don't know.
Yes.
Pretty good. I wouldn't want to be in Dallas right now, that's for sure. I'd want to be in Nebraska.
I mean, there's very few things that make me want to go to Dallas.
I'd want to be in Nebraska on Matt Rule's staff. That's where I would want to be. And it seems like the entire high school community of Dallas is going to be here eventually. So that's what Matt Rule has going for him right now. All right. Any thoughts on that? We'll take it. But man, like I said, pretty intriguing there. We'll come back. An interesting name popped up on a Big Ten commissioner hot board. We'll discuss that coming back.
I thought I was the only one who was doing Big Ten commissioner hot boards yesterday.
There was actually a hot board that I saw from The Athletic. I had a couple familiar names on them. Jump into that and more next here on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Email us on the Equitable inbox with whatever is on your mind. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. You can hit me up, agree, disagree, tell me your thoughts on life at Hanley@1620thezone.com. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Creighton Sports Update.
Creighton men's basketball is back at CHI Health Center tomorrow as they host the Providence Friars. Tip-off is set for 1 p.m. Limited tickets are still available online at gocreighton.com/tickets. That's Creighton versus Providence tomorrow at 1 p.m. And that's your Creighton Sports Update.
1620 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
Wild Card Weekend is here, and the easiest way to get into the playoffs is with FanDuel. It's America's #1 sports book. And Josh, we got a couple of games that have a line of 3. Believe it or not, Tom Brady is a 3-point dog at home to your Cowboys. But I'm looking at the other game this week. The Giants are getting 3 points against the Vikings. And right now, new customers can get $150 in free bets guaranteed when they use our promo code 1620.
John, the game that I will be looking at this weekend, well, of course, will be the Cowboys game, but I like the Bills. 10-point favorites at home versus the Dolphins. We saw this one in December. I like Bills to win again big. And if you put in our promo code 1620, your first $5 bet gets you $150 in free bets, win or lose. That's the FanDuel Sportsbook promo code 1620. 21 plus and present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit is required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Problem, call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning has always put service first. It's been that way for a half century. Recently, that commitment to service was recognized when General Manager Scott Woods was placed on the HVAC industry's 40 under 40 list. If your home comfort system needs repair or replacement, McCarthy's 1 Hour is dedicated to doing the job right the first time and on time. Because McCarthy's literally built their business on the promise, always on time or you don't pay a dime. McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, McCarthy's1hour.com.
It's the lowest month-to-month rate of the year with no contract and no enrollment fees at Genesis Health Clubs. It won't get any lower than this, and enrollment fees are waived to celebrate 2023. Hurry, just one day left. Hi, I'm Rodney Steven. It's the new year, and you've set your New Year's resolutions, right? Well, it's time to go. I have good news and bad news for you. The bad news is, if you don't get started, your New Year's resolutions won't happen, and you'll be in the same place next year. You have to take that first step and build habits that will change your life forever. One of my favorite quotes is, if it is to be, it is up to me. And that is absolutely true. And we know you can do it. We'll help you every step of the way. We help hundreds of thousands of people reach their fitness goals each year. And what about you this year? Join Genesis Health Clubs for our lowest month-to-month rate that we'll offer in all of 2023. Plus, no enrollment fees and no contracts. One day left. It will not get any better than this. Join at GenesisHealthClubs.com now because this special won't last. Hurry, just one day left.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Welcome back, Connor Happer, Josh Hodson with you here on a Friday. 1620thezone.com. Also the app. We're working to get the 1620 The Zone AM radio back shortly. Did you see the tweak to the black shirt logo? So
I did.
College sports logos.
Sounds official.
Apparently noticed this. I sure as hell wouldn't have. Last month, Nebraska football updated their black shirts logo. The design was cleaned up, made symmetrical, and is now front-facing. The text remains in the same stencil font. The original defensive unit came in 1964. The previous logo in about 1992. So here's what they did. They took the black shirt head. They updated the helmet, which is nice because the helmet doesn't look like it's from, 1996 now, which is cool. And if you notice, the old black shirt logo had the head looking to the side a little bit. It wasn't looking right at you. Well, they moved his head back. Now the black shirt skull is looking right at you,
staring into your soul.
Yes. I wonder if they'll do that. We haven't seen the black shirt uniforms now in a couple years. Oh, did they wear them in 20? Well, they might have wore like a road version of them in 21. Gosh, maybe not. Remember that whole big deal when they were going to have a third jersey?
Oh yeah.
And they do. As far as I know, they're still available for them to use. Will Matt Rule finally be the coach that has ridiculous uniform and pant combinations?
Oh.
Will Matt Rule finally be the coach that pulls the trigger and goes red on red one game?
Now you're talking.
And how often will we see an alternate jersey? Does Matt Rule seem like an alternate jersey guy to you?
No, not especially.
I don't think so either. He's pretty old school. Pretty old school. But he is a recruiter. Knows what the kids want. So there's your update. The skull turned its head. So huge update there.
It's a big deal.
It is a huge deal.
People are going to notice.
An article from The Athletic yesterday with the departure of Kevin Warren. Not just an article, Josh, a hot board.
Hot board. I did mine yesterday.
Yeah, many were saying that Josh was the first person to have his Big Ten commissioner hot board out.
Put mine out first. Love that for me.
Here are some names. Jim Phillips, the ACC commissioner. Pretty obviously going to be in this conversation. Jennifer Heppel, the commissioner of the Patriot League. Then there's some sitting ADs like Gene Smith, the athletic director at Ohio State. The Stanford athletic director, the UCLA athletic director. And then there's a couple more off-the-wall ones that they mentioned. I think Gary might have been onto something yesterday when we were talking about it in the crossover on the topic of TV executive. Mark Silverman is mentioned here. He's the president and COO of Fox Sports. Kerry Kenny is the senior vice president, television, media analytics, and emerging platforms at the Big Ten Conference. Kathy Engelbert, the WNBA commissioner, is listed on here. A couple more various people. And there's one that is sort of familiar. Well, not sort of familiar, definitely familiar to us. Look who shows up on this hot board. Ted Carter.
The Admiral.
The Admiral. This would be horrible. Matt Rule loves the Admiral.
We can't lose the Admiral.
We cannot lose the Admiral. I don't think the Admiral seems like a commissioner, a Big Ten commissioner to me, but he is the Admiral. Carter
Seems
is
like somebody, if you asked him, he'd be like, I don't need all that.
kind of. Yeah. I don't know how likely it is, but he's listed along with the 11, as part of 11 names that the Athletic put out there. I sort of, trust their national reporters on this. Here's what it says about Carter in the little blurb. Carter has presided over the University of Nebraska system since the beginning of 2020, which means he has led through arguably the most challenging stretch for higher education ever. He also understands the value of football to Big Ten schools and what needs to be done when that football product isn't performing at a high enough level. Carter's military background makes him an unflappable leader and is always worth remembering who ultimately gets to make these hiring decisions, presidents and chancellors. Might they want to elevate one of their own?
Oh.
We're perfectly set up there for a Ronnie Green. I don't know. Might that be a question we reconsider? I don't know. That was interesting to see. I hope they don't lose the Admiral. Got to keep the Admiral.
He's a key piece of the Nebraska Athletic Department. We must hang on to the Admiral at all costs.
If we lose the Admiral and Ronnie and Husker Jane all in the same year, that would be terrible.
Yeah.
What would we do? It would just be Trev over there. Alex and Lincoln texts in 402-951-1620. Would the Huskers get better scheduling if the Admiral is the commish?
Oh, that's a little something.
Probably.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. The Huskers get fine scheduling. Unfortunately, they haven't held up to their end of the bargain. They have to play Ohio State. They had to play Ohio State quite a bit at the beginning of the league, and you're like, man, if only we didn't have to do that. But you're not supposed to, theoretically, if Nebraska's rolling, you're not probably supposed to lose 62-3 to them. Wouldn't advise that. So maybe you could throw that in there if the Admiral becomes the Big Ten commish. What direction does the Big Ten need to go? I sort of said yesterday, I'm not sure how much of a mover and a shaker you need in that spot at the moment.
It depends on what everyone in the room wants, right? I mean,
yeah, and I
kind of want to be aggressive in expansion and media, and then you hire a media person. If you're like, okay, this is kind of the 5-7 year cycle where we can kind of stay pat.
This is sort of in hindsight now, but I mean, I think it's come out now. A lot of people said, hey, we didn't know how long Kevin Warren was going to be here anyway.
And Kevin Warren sort of represented not only did he take over in a really tumultuous time with COVID and all that stuff, it was the time that the Big Ten TV contract came up, and he negotiated that. And now he came from the Vikings, where he was the agent of a lot of change, and he's going to go to the Bears, where he's going to be the agent of some more change. Kevin Warren is kind of the chaos guy. He's going to come in, make really, really tough decisions, but transformative decisions, and then probably leave. Right? That's been the book on Kevin Warren.
Definitely.
So after all those changes and considering the place that the Big Ten is in right now, where do they need to go? What kind of person do they need? Do they need another agent of change? Do they need somebody to come in and undo the things that Kevin Warren did? I don't really think so. I think it's sort of status quo, and it's continuing to, think about where your brand in the Big Ten sits compared to the rest of the landscape in college football. By the way, congratulations on welcoming in USC and UCLA in a mega new TV deal, figuring out the football scheduling piece and navigating whatever comes next. If we're looking at this in, let's say, 7 to 10 year windows. In a 7 to 10 year window, the Big Ten will be nearing its next television contract. And we'll be back in the cycle that we were sort of in 2021, hopefully just without the COVID part.
Hopefully
without the pandemic part.
Yeah.
That'd be
super.
That'd be really great. But as for the next 7, watch what the SEC does. Is the SEC in a mode right now where they're going to aggressively continue to pursue other teams from other conferences on the heels of adding Oklahoma and Texas? That's not the vibe I get right now. I get the vibe from both conferences that they're okay where they're at the moment and letting the Pac-12 survive or trying to figure it out as it is. And the same thing with the Big 12 and all the other conferences. I think both of the additions that the Big 10 and the SEC made are good, and they both feel like, okay, we've separated ourselves enough, and it may be detrimental, even more so detrimental to the sport as a whole, if we're to get really greedy and we're the SEC and we're going to grab Miami and Florida State. And then that forces the Big Ten to go get Oregon and Washington, or Oregon and Stanford, or whatever that might be. And that might be too much for a small amount of time. I wouldn't put it past anybody. I wouldn't be totally surprised if the SEC decided to make that first move. But the Big Ten commissioner here is pretty key, because my sense is that the presidents and chancellors are pretty comfortable with where they're at right now. Let's take a couple of years. Let's wait for that first big old check to clear. And let's see what the money does. And then in a couple of years, if we feel like we're falling behind the SEC or we need to make another move as far as TV revenue is concerned, then we'll go out and get some more teams. I think that's kind of where they're at right now. What's pressing? Like Big Ten basketball officiating? I don't know. And I just think it won't be much of a mover and a shaker.
Matt Rule has tweeted.
Hello.
I will try and describe it to you for a change.
Oh, fun.
Big plane.
Big plane. So jet.
Yeah. Jet. Mountaintop.
Uh-huh.
Propeller plane.
Tiny plane.
Desert. Eyeball emoji.
Uh-oh.
1 star.
Oh, no.
2 star.
Oh, no.
A different kind of twinkly star as the 3rd star. 4 star. 5 star. Football.
What's up, Dylan Raiola?
That's what it seems like to me.
What is he just gonna do, like a tweet a day about Dylan Raiola?
But also, is he not flying direct? Was there a layover in Colorado or something? What was the beginning of that tweet?
Yeah, there might have been.
Maybe a stop for a different 5 stars. Our 5-star in Colorado we're eyeballing.
I mean, a lot of times they do, they fly commercially.
Oh, Mitch Sherman has analyzed the tweet.
Oh, Mitch, what do you think?
I will feel free to quote him here. We're not on the radio. No one cares. Someone is flying over a mountain to see a 5-star player in the desert.
I don't know why he had to get on a smaller plane, though. That is kind of confusing.
Got to throw off the
maybe just to
flight
get
trackers.
Maybe just to get around the Phoenix area since it's so sprawling now. You go from Sky Harbor into the tinier plane just to get to where is he at? Is it like Glendale?
Oh, who knows?
Chandler. Have you ever been to Chandler?
Not that I know of. I've been to Arizona State. I've been to Phoenix. End of list.
Chandler is on the southeast side of Phoenix. It is over by Mesa. I think there's some spring training facilities over there.
Okay.
I'm more of a Northwest Phoenix guy myself. Big Surprise Peoria guy. But Surprise. You gotta check out the Royals.
Sure.
If I'm ever down there. it's been like 5 years since I've been down there for spring training.
Sounds like you're due.
Very sad about that. Yeah. Maybe I could be like Matt Rule and do plain, mountain, plain, desert. And then the finishing of my tweet won't have 5 stars. It'll just have baseball, 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 baseball.
5 baseballs.
King hat. That's what it would be.
Terrific.
That's how you know I'm going to watch the Royals during spring training. Always something with this Dylan Raiola guy, huh? Always something.
We're glad we can all be quiet and just let him be a teenager.
Hey, congratulations to Kyle Korver, who is now the assistant GM of the Atlanta Hawks.
All right.
According to Woj, they are finalizing the deal to make Kyle Korver an assistant general manager. Korver has been within the organization over the last few months here, and he's been working behind the scenes, and they're reshaping the front office. Now, here's where it gets really interesting for me anyway. First of all, we all have to get used to this. We're now at the age where Kyle Korver can become an assistant, could work in a front office.
Yeah.
I thought Kyle Korver's NBA career would never end. I just thought as long as I was alive, he was going to be shooting threes in the NBA.
Somebody would hire him as a mercenary, just shoot threes.
Yep.
But now he's 41.
And now he is an assistant general manager of the Atlanta Hawks. I asked this to Josh earlier. Do you know who the Atlanta Hawks' new general manager is?
I had not a clue. I knew the last one did not end well.
The new Hawks general manager is Landry Fields, former New York Knick. Maybe you know him from his time with the Toronto Raptors.
Oh, how could you forget?
As well. Landry Fields is 34 years old. What's up with these tiny baby boys all over the place? We're hiring. I mean, it makes me really feel like a failure, honestly.
I mean, LeBron James was in my same high school class. How do you think I felt the last 20 years?
There he is. There's that guy again, just showing me up. 34-year-old Landry Fields is general manager of the Atlanta Hawks, and he has brought in Kyle Korver to help out. So, well, this is what it's like feeling old. Just another example of it. Anyway.
So is Kyle Korver going to be tasked with, come on, Trey, we need you here. You love it here. We need you to stay.
Yes.
Okay.
He'll be one of those people anyway. They had their basketball operations guy step down. Landry Fields has made several staff changes, and elevating Kyle Korver had been one of his immediate priorities. The Hawks have been active in trade discussions as well, especially around John Collins. Korver was with the Nets player development program last season, and he will play a role in the Hawks player development strategies. 17-year NBA career for Kyle Korver. I just saw the highlight the other day where he scored like 12 points in 30 seconds or whatever that was.
Sure.
And He's one of those guys who, when the ball touches his hands, there's a buzz. Oh, is he going to shoot it? Where's he going to shoot it from?
Give me a heat check. Johnny, heat check.
John emails in the Equitable Bank inbox. I don't watch the NBA, but I thought Corver was still playing. Could have fooled me. All right.
41, not
he
insane to think that.
Theoretically, could still be playing. I bet he could knock down a couple threes a game for somebody right now. All right. Josh has a top 5 next. What will we be top 5ing this weekend?
In honor of the great Chargers wide receiver Mike Williams injuring himself unnecessarily on the field of play.
Mm-hmm.
Top 5 unusual on the field sports injuries.
Wow. What a fun list.
I'm sure hoping so.
Next on 1620 The Zone.
1620 The Zone wants you to win Gary's booty. Whoa, wait, what? Win $100 or more every weekday on Mornings with Sharp and Hanley. Listen during the 6 and 8 o'clock hours for Gary and Nick to give you their stat of the day. Then during the 7 and 9 a.m. hours, listen for the cue to call, know the stat, and win a buttload of cash. Answer it correctly, and Gary's booty gets even bigger. Yep, we'll keep adding $100 to the booty bank till the correct answer's given on air. Win your share of Gary's booty on Mornings with Sharp and Hanley with 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Cold and quiet to finish off the week Friday. Expect clouds in the morning with more afternoon sunshine. Wind will be light to calm most of the day with highs around 30. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
Email us on the Equitable Bank inbox with whatever is on your mind. Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. You can get me, Gary, at 1620thezone.com. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone Inbox.
You've got options when you shop pre-owned with Woodhouse. Over 1,000 cars, trucks, and SUVs inspected and road ready with a team ready to tackle all your needs and wants to get you the perfect vehicle. Plus, with financing options and extended warranty coverage options, Woodhouse makes purchasing your next vehicle an easy one-stop shop in dealership or online, bringing you more every time since 1975. Shop Woodhouse.
The Blue Jay Zone is brought to you by Barry Law. We're in it to win it. While many might use a holiday break for rest and relaxation, Creighton forward Arthur Kaluma wanted to use the time to rededicate himself to the game.
Relax? I don't know about that. I wasn't really too impressed with how I was playing at the first start of the season. So I really took the time to try to get in the gym and, get my stamina back up. And I've been feeling good, I've been feeling good playing with my teammates, seeing how everything's coming together.
Winning comes without a guarantee. Focus, discipline, and extraordinary effort make winning more likely. Sometimes our greatest wins come from major setbacks. Coming back from a serious injury is a win that requires teamwork. At Barry Law, we're in it to win it.
If you have been seriously injured in an accident, call Barry Law today. 402-999-7777.
It's the lowest month-to-month rate of the year with no contract and no enrollment fees at Genesis Health Clubs. It won't get any lower than this, and enrollment fees are waived to celebrate 2023. Hurry, just one day left. Hi, I'm Rodney Stephen. It's the new year, and you've set your New Year's resolutions, right? Well, it's time to go. I have good news and bad news for you. The bad news is, if you don't get started, your New Year's resolutions won't happen, and you'll be in the same place next year. You have to take that first step and build habits that will change your life forever. One of my favorite quotes is, if it is to be, it is up to me. And that is absolutely true. And we know you can do it. We'll help you every step of the way. We help hundreds of thousands of people reach their fitness goals each year. And what about you this year? Join Genesis Health Clubs for our lowest month-to-month rate that we'll offer in all of 2023. Plus, no enrollment fees and no contracts. One day left. It will not get any better than this. Join at GenesisHealthClubs.com now because this special won't last. Hurry, just one day left.
Every Friday, we bring you discounts to some of your favorite businesses in the area. Well, we decided that once a week just wasn't enough. Introducing OmahaWeekendDeals.com, where each weekend you can find deals 50% off or more to even more of your favorite businesses. This weekend's deal is to Serenity Massage and Energy Work, the largest spa in Council Bluffs, offering you the wellness you deserve with spa treatments, massage, energy work, Delta products, and more. Head to OmahaWeekendDeals.com now to get yours. That's OmahaWeekendDeals.com.
Welcome to the After Hours Lounge on 1620 The Zone.
The head Maverick, Chris Crutchfield, is going to join us.
I was so happy with those guys because they hadn't won a road game in almost 2 years. I'm proud of what our guys did. We continued to fight throughout the game. It was a two-possession game, and that's the biggest thing with our guys right now, just continue to compete.
Catch After Hours 6 to 8, Monday through Friday, or as the sports schedule allows. Brought to you by Payne West on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, thanks to Dr. Tim for tweeting this at me.
Hi, Dr. Tim.
Is a clip from a recent episode of, I hope it was a recent episode anyway, of Family Feud, where there was a, it's family against family. And one of the families
Would you say they're feuding?
Yeah, I would say they're feuding, too.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the families was the Rozier family. Pretty common name, right? They go down the line. They introduce the contestants. Steve is having a great time. He gets down to the end. Guy's got a hat on. His name is Mike. Hey, Mike. Steve Harvey asks, "Hey, did you play football, Mike?" Yeah, I played a little ball. Did you play college football, Mike? Yeah, no, yep. I played college football. Hey, Mike, you got a Heisman Trophy? Oh, man, that's Mike Rozier. Mike Rozier's on Family Feud.
One of the things I love about this clip is that we're all Nebraskans here. We've all seen the way Mike Rozier dresses.
He looks like Mike Rozier.
Yeah. And Steve Harvey could not have been more excited.
He was great. I mean, I'm sure he knew, but he played it off really, really well. Did crack the Heisman pose.
Everyone in that family is very tall.
Steve Harvey, like being happy gives me like great endorphins. It's like, I like that guy a lot. Just great vibes.
I've talked about this on numerous occasions. He is the single most perfect host for that show.
Fantastic.
Flawless.
Good.
No notes.
And he's got, he has the ability to like roast people without making them feel totally like idiots.
Yep.
It's like a comforting roast. It's a good spot to be in.
It's one of those, hey, I got to say you're dumb, right?
Sometimes I'll just look at people. Like, really? Yep.
Really?
Steve Hart. Yeah, no notes.
You thought that was a sexual question, really?
So there's Mike Rozier who popped up on Family Feud. I don't know how recent it was, but it's going around apparently.
I think I just looked this up because I thought that question would come up. What was the answer? 2018, March of 2018.
Oh, so it's from a few years ago.
Yeah.
But still funny. Josh has the top 5 weirdest on-field sports injuries.
Yes, in honor of Mike Williams unnecessarily injuring himself.
Fracturing his back.
Yes,
Thank
he
you
broke
very
his
much.
back,
Yeah.
Batman style.
Like when he fell into the gulag.
I decided to these are more funny versus, hey, my coach is a bonehead and put me in the game when I didn't need to be in the game. So hopefully we can have some fun with this.
Let's.
Gosh, come on. Take forever.
Number 5.
Number 5 is Bill Gramatica. 2001, the kicker for the Arizona Cardinals kicked a 42-yard field goal to go up 3-0 for the 5-7 Arizona Cardinals. He then tore his right ACL.
He did.
Celebrating said field goal.
Just a little jump.
However, he stayed in the game, kicked a 37-yard field goal, I think, and 2 extra points.
I don't know which leg it was, but
either way, whether it was his plant leg or the actual leg that he kicks with, seems like an impossible task.
It was impossible for the kickoffs. They had Pat Tillman do the kickoffs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't remember that part.
I thought that was an interesting note from my my research.
There you go.
That is
Definitely a weird one and certainly memorable. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this list.
Number 4.
Yeah, you kind of see what we're going for here now.
Yeah.
Number 4 is Gus Frerotte, the Washington quarterback. At the time, they scored a touchdown. Hey, we're gonna run that right in. We're gonna run all the way to the wall. We're gonna celebrate.
Oh, the headbutt.
I'm gonna headbutt that wall.
Yeah.
That did not go well for Gus.
We've seen a lot of it's spur of the moment stuff. But there was one guy, gosh, I think it was Pitt football this year. He took off his helmet and smashed it against his own face.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Psychopaths,
That
football players.
Yeah, that's a huge red flag. If you see someone do that, you need to run in the opposite direction of that human.
I think that's kind of the point of why they do it. But yeah,
I'm an animal.
Sort of insane.
Ah!
Article from NFL.com. Gus Frerotte at peace with infamous headbutt. I kind of want to read it now.
Yep, that's me.
3. Combination of 3 and 5. Number 3.
Now I didn't know this happened until today, Connor. You're a bit more of a baseball guy than I, so maybe you knew.
Oh, there's a lot of good baseball injuries.
And that's where I kind of thought this list would live, but there's only 2. Ken Griffey made a name for himself crushing pitches, but the 13-time All-Star was equally famous for crushing his own testicle with his protective cup. The nutty incident occurred in the early 1990s when Griffey was playing for the Seattle Mariners. And
so you're Griffey Sr.?
This is Junior.
Oh, Griffey Jr.
Junior. Didn't get that cup on quite right. Something got out and got smashed.
Oh, God.
He missed the next game.
Oh, no.
Now, this article goes on to say that Griffey is not the only Mariner to suffer a ball-related injury. I hope we're off the air still. Relief pitcher Josias Manzanillo lost a testicle after being hit by a Manny Ramirez line drive in 1997. And third baseman Adrian Beltre was forced to go on the 15-day
Oh, that was a bad one.
list after taking a bad hop to, and this I'm reading directly from the article here, a bad hop to his chicken tenders in 2019.
Yeah, I remember the Adrian Beltre one. Adrian Beltre is great too because he wears all of his emotions on his sleeves.
Yeah.
And we miss Adrian Beltre. I love the colorful nature of Adrian Beltre.
Sometimes it went well, sometimes it went poorly.
Whenever somebody would touch his head, he would get extremely triggered and almost reflexively punch them in the face. I miss Adrian Beltre. I'm gonna get that poll question out.
Okay, you're gonna do it? Okay.
Yeah. Do you miss Adrian Beltre?
Yep, exactly. I will go on with number 2.
Here comes 2.
Number 2.
Number 2 is Tony Allen, former Boston Celtics player. In the year of our Lord 2007, he was fouled in a game against the Indiana Pacers by Steven Jackson. The whistle blew, play on the court stopped as Tony Allen was driving to the hoop. He decided, you know what? I'm just going to take a practice dunk. He proceeded to throw a tomahawk dunk down, and he blew out his knee.
I do get concerned. If there's ever a guy who has been injured before, I just think to myself, man, every step or every hard fall, I just get really, really nervous. Just don't want to watch that. Ugh, it's the worst.
Yeah.
Especially around the hoop. There's people flying through the air. There's too many people close to him. I mean, there was the situation at the women's basketball game a couple weeks ago with Widener, and she ran into some stuff right off the court, and now she's out for the season. It's just scary over there.
Kind of surprised it doesn't happen a little more.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
That leads us to our number one most unusual on the field sports injury.
Make it so, number one.
Number one.
We got to go back to Game 4 of the 1985 National League Championship Series.
Between the Cardinals and the Phillies?
No, the Dodgers. But it does involve a Cardinal, Vince Coleman, one of the fastest base runners in Major League history, but he could not outrun the Busch Stadium automatic tarp roller.
Oh, no.
The 6-time stolen base champ was warming up on the field prior to Game 4 of the 85 NLCS when the 1,200-pound roller knocked him down and pinned him to the ground. Coleman recalled the incident saying, "You know how they say when you're in fear of your life, you don't feel a thing? This thing weighed a ton, and I didn't feel a thing because I'm thinking it's going to crush me.
I'm going to die."
Fortunately, Coleman lived to tell the tale, but he did break his left tibia, and he missed the rest of the NLCS and the World Series where I forget what happened, Connor.
Interesting.
Could you please enlighten me on what happened in the 1985 World Series?
Are you familiar with a person by the name of Don Dinkinger?
Yes, I am.
That's all you need to know.
The Royals won that World Series in
That's
7
right,
games.
they did. And nobody remembers Don Dinkinger from Game 6. Nobody at all.
Can I tell a weird personal story about the 85 World Series?
It's about Don Dinkinger? Great.
It's not about Don Dinkinger. It's about my parents.
Okay.
I know we got to get to Sip here, but I'll make it quick. My parents went to the 85 World Series, one of the games. I'm not sure which. No, it was the 85 Nebraska-Missouri game.
Okay.
Famously in Columbia, Missouri,
yes,
where the Cardinals and the Royals are also both from Missouri. It was the weekend of one of those World Series games, so traffic was a nightmare. My parents really wanted to go to this game. They left me with a stranger. An honest-to-God stranger is the way they tell the story. It's like, I'm sure it was like a friend of a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
But they said, we're going to the Nebraska game in Missouri.
Yeah.
Here's our son. At the time, I was less than a year old. Here, take our baby.
Oh, my God.
And then they told the babysitter, oh, we'll be back by, whatever time. And then traffic from the 85 World Series prevented them from getting back to Omaha at said time. They left me with a stranger.
And you're still here.
Still here.
Pretty normal, too.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. Normal enough for radio.
Nebraska, Missouri, October 19th, 1985.
Was it a win? Oh, yeah, it had to be. It was.
I would assume so.
It was during the streak of like 100 wins in a row against Missouri or something. Rough estimate.
Nebraska won 28-20 to improve to 5-1. Missouri's loss knocked them to 0-6. Wow. So actually a competitive game from Mizzou.
Just means more
against number 7 Nebraska. Good, very good tweet and a follow-up here from David.
Hi, David.
On Twitter, responding to the poll question, do you miss Adrian Beltre? He responds with an Adrian Beltre GIF. Exactly what I just described happened. Somebody goes up to him, touches him on the head, turns around, and reflexively tries to jack him in the face.
You described that very well.
There's no time for thought, just punch. David says, I miss him with all my heart. We will return with Stephen M. Sipple, who we miss with all of our hearts. Next on 1620 The Zone.
The Super Wildcard round of the NFL playoffs continues with a special Sunday triple header. Hi, this is Scott Graham. Join me and the rest of our Westwood One crew for all the action. First, the Dolphins and Bills meet in Buffalo. Then it's the New York Giants and Minnesota Vikings. And the night finishes with the Ravens and the Bengals. Coverage begins at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. From the wild card round all the way to Super Bowl 57 in Arizona, the NFL playoffs are right here.
If it's the NFL, it's on 1620 The Zone.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep your operation running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, Maria in Miami, and Jules in Troy, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with high-quality supplies for every industry, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Happy New Year. I am Coach Mike Gabinet. As we enter a new year, we want to celebrate the blessings of 2022, and your support is one of those blessings. Maverick Hockey is ranked 4th in the nation in attendance, and we just had our largest attending game since 2018. Your support made that happen. I would encourage you to buy single game tickets for the rest of the season and season tickets for next season.
Get your tickets by calling 402-554-MAVS or by going to omavs.com/tickets.
Give your business a whole host of options with Host Coffee. The most impressive selection of office coffee, water options, healthy food options, and vending technologies. Host Coffee, serving you since 72. Be a part of the Host Coffee team today. If you'd like to work for a trusted and loyal family-owned company that understands the needs of working families, Host Coffee has your opportunity. Apply at hostcoffee.net. Listen to Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay Overtime, the Creighton men's basketball postgame show on 1620 The Zone. Live from DJ's Dugout downtown. It's right after every home game, presented by Barry Law. Exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone.
You can find pizza anywhere. But when you want pizza pie, pile pie with more toppings, that's when you come to my place, Godfather's Pizza. For a limited time, get your hands on 2 of my large one-topping pizzas. Pick pepperoni, beef, black olives, you choose. All this food for only $29. Feed your whole mob without breaking the bank. Hey, it's an offer you can't refuse. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
It's Super Wildcard Weekend. NFL Wildcard Weekend is here, and the easiest way to get into the playoffs is not by a victory, but it's just with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers can join today to get started with $150 in free bets. That is guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Now, all you have to do to get this great deal, Nick and everybody else, you just got to use the promo code. It is ZONE.
FanDuel has all of your favorite bets, Gary, from the money line to point spreads to player props. Got some great Sunday and Monday night matchups, including the Bengals and the Ravens and Cowboys Buccaneers. Plus, you can even combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with same game parlay. So football fans, don't miss out. Place your first $5 bet to get $150 in free bets, win or lose, with promo code ZONE. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. Steve Sipple.
Hut, hey! The conversation gets even more uncomfortable, okay?
Omaha! Steve Sipple on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, we're happy to chat with Steve Sipple from HuskerOnlineOn3.com. He joins us now. Sipple, happy Friday. How are you?
Hi, Connor. How are you?
Good. Do you remember the 1985 Nebraska-Missouri game?
No. I mean, refresh my memory.
Well, Nebraska won 28-20, and apparently they kicked like a whole bunch of field goals, and Turner Gill got knocked out of the game.
Oh, yeah. I think that was that game in Columbia.
It was in Columbia, yes. Josh's parents were there, and they left little tiny Josh back in Omaha with strangers.
Hey, I thought you were talking about basketball. Do I remember that 1985 basketball game?
No, I was not talking about basketball. Football.
It's basketball season, Connor.
Is it? Is it really?
Yeah, it is real. Yeah.
Are you intrigued in basketball right now? What's got your mind, rolling on Fred Hoiberg's basketball squad?
Well, I mean, they're an interesting stretch, and I'm always interested in it. Connor, I've followed Nebraska basketball more closely. Before I started covering football, I followed Nebraska basketball much more closely.
You have, but not so much recently.
Yeah, just because the football team's been such a freak show that demands so much time.
You're okay. Yep. Keep going. Yep.
Yeah, it's true. But what brings about the discussion about 1985 Nebraska, Missouri? And by the way, Missouri was a really tough, borderline kind of dirty team. They're tough.
Yeah.
I think that was probably Warren Powers, the coach.
Well, they hadn't won a game yet. Nebraska was 4-1, and Missouri hadn't won a game yet. So wouldn't surprise me if there was some antics going on. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, what brings about that discussion?
I don't know why Josh ended up telling the story about how he got left back in Omaha.
85 World Series.
We were talking about the 85 World Series, of course, because it involved the Royals. People forget that.
Yeah, I don't forget that. Fred Potek and George Brett and Cookie Rojas and Amos Otis and John Mayberry. And
that's right.
All those guys.
Yeah, you got it. We can move back to current times, or maybe even future times. Dylan Raiola. A lot of talk about Dylan Raiola. You even wrote about Dylan Raiola today in Tunnel Talk, and Matt Rule may have done a tweet about Dylan Raiola just a little bit ago. The buzz. There's been a lot of buzz this week. He was at the national championship. A lot of Georgia buzz this week. I guess. Let me ask you this: is there a timeline that you can see on this one? We know with quarterbacks it usually happens relatively early. I guess, what do you see in the next couple months with this recruitment?
Oh, I don't have a good grasp of the timeline. I don't. Yeah, I just don't. I mean, it's hard to predict that. It's really hard to predict that. Georgia obviously has a lot of momentum in the conversation. And here's the thing about Georgia. I mean, yes, there's momentum. There's obvious momentum. Dylan was at the game with a red and white, or whatever the Georgia pom-pom is, and he was making dog noises and all that. So, I mean, that his sister goes to TCU, and he was standing behind his sister, and, they're having a good time, but he was making dog noises. If that means anything.
It does. It means a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other part of that conversation is Georgia was the very first team to offer. I mean, I have some degree of insight, not a ton, but I know Dominic really well. Georgia was the first team to offer, period. They beat everybody to the punch, and that means a lot. And that I always felt that I guess I put it this way, I was a little surprised he chose Ohio State over Georgia. I mean, when it happened, I was like, I thought Georgia would be the one. I mean, they spent a lot of time on that campus. They have unofficial visits and such. And Kirby Smart leads the way in that recruitment. It's Kirby. I mean, Kirby is leading that charge. Kirby Smart himself is leading that charge. So, but as I wrote in Tunnel Talk on the Husker Online, I wouldn't rule out Nebraska. I'd put Nebraska second right now. But that's conjecture. That's just my gut feel. Dominic loves this place. I mean, loves it. Absolutely adores his alma mater. So that's a strong pull. And of course, his uncle's here, and it's a tight family.
Yeah, it does seem. I mean, we know this. I mean, the new Nebraska staff is definitely. I mean, they are all over this one, right? Like it's not like. Well, I mean, why wouldn't you be after the number one player in the country in 2024? But I mean, it feels like that relationship is pretty strong with Nebraska's new group. It takes some time to build it, I think, but I mean, doesn't it feel like they are attempting to really build that relationship?
Yeah, I mean, there'll be some work that has to be done, but they have an advantage. They have a built-in advantage, two of them, Donovan and as I said, Donovan Raiola, the uncle, and of course Dominic's allegiance to his alma mater. So there's some built-in advantages. There's a lot that goes into it. Dominic's kind of want his son at a place where he can improve, and it's clear to Dominic and Dylan and Dayton, his other son, that they can improve here. That they can. There's got to be I think it's got to be pretty clear to them that they're not interested and anywhere that they can't get him improvement on a day-to-day basis. They're very intense. I mean, Dominic's really intense. I mean, within reason, but there's going to be some things they're going to have to see.
Yeah. Steve Sipple with us from Husker Online. What's your thought on, and there was another hire made today as a chief of staff out of the state of Texas. But you add in Wager and you add in Garrett McGuire and Rule himself and a whole bunch of people from the staff with Texas ties. I guess that's where they've sort of gone here, even though there's ties to the, to everywhere around the country with the staff that they've sort of brought in here. But what's your sense on sort of their activity there and the relationships they're going to develop, and how important is that for Nebraska? We've heard that pop up for a long time, Sipple. Like Nebraska, when they left the Big 12, they left the state of Texas behind, and now, I mean, the sense is it's really going to be back and sort of in the forefront for Nebraska in their recruiting picture.
Yeah, that's. I mean, what you just said is about. I mean, I couldn't really say it much better. They're going to try this Texas thing again, and it's, there's a lot to like about it. They do have connections, which helps. Now, can you go get the difference makers? You don't want to just go get guys that weren't recruited by the big schools. You got to pull them up here. I'm just going to say a bunch of obvious stuff. You got to pull them up here to a place where, they're away from the Big 12, etc. I don't know. I mean, I'd give it a shot because these guys have connections. So that's clearly what Rule has in mind. I like it for a lot of reasons. They play football year round in Texas, which is always thought was good, was a good thing. They love it down there. Not that they don't love it other places in America, but they play it year round there. So I'm kind of in wait and see mode on it. I want to see exactly, if they sign a class of 25, how many Texas kids are in it, what those kids look like. I'm not going to judge too much about anything on this staff until it gets going. I'm not doing the snap judgment thing either way. I know everybody wants that. That's the world we live in. I'm not going to do that.
Are you in wait and see mode on the offensive line too, even with their additions over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I mean, the conversations are, they're all a little different. It's like, for instance, I don't talk about an incoming freshman the way I would talk about Walter Rouse.
Yeah,
started
a guy who started 40 games at Stanford. Yeah,
right. So people say, well, you're just hyping up these transfer portal guys, but you always say don't hype up players. It's not the same. I mean, you can make distinctions in this world, and one distinction would be, I'm going to talk about Billy Kemp with 192 catches at the Power 5 level, different than I'm going to talk about Malachi Coleman, who has 0. Yeah, I'm going to talk about different, because one of them's 23 and proven, and one of them hasn't done anything in college. So I will talk about a little different. And they've done a good job of going in the portal, getting guys, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Those guys they've gotten are real. I mean, I didn't want to say that Sims is real because I'm a Casey Thompson fan, but Jeff Sims, that quarterback from Georgia Tech, is real. I mean, that I can see why coaches talk about it the way he does. I get the inconsistency. He's 23 picks, 30 touchdowns, 23 picks. That's not great at all. And he is a little inconsistent. That's the issue. But man, he's also 6'4", 220, can runs well, runs naturally, runs into contact, and he can throw it downfield. And he can throw it. I mean, think of Jamal Lord that can complete 60% of his passes. I mean, that is a really provocative picture. So I'm kind of rambling here, Connor, but I like what they're doing so far. I just don't want to go too far with it.
I got you. Yeah, that's fair. We'll see how it all rolls out there in spring. Hey, Sip, we'll let you go. Appreciate you taking the time. Have a good weekend. Love you. Bye.
Okay, Connor. I'll try next time not to be so growly. Have a good one, okay?
No, you're doing fine. We like it any way we can get. Steve Sipple. Thanks.
Okay, all right. Take care, guys.
Steve Sipple on 3.com.
The 1985 Nebraska-Missouri basketball games went as follows. January of 86, Nebraska lost a 1-point affair at Devaney, 68-67.
Oh my gosh, horrible.
In the rematch in February in Columbia, Nebraska won 75-66.
Hell yeah, they did. That's right.
That was a NCAA tournament team in Lincoln.
Do you miss playing Mizzou and stuff?
Every now and then I do. It'd be fun.
I have a soft spot for like KU and K-State and Colorado. Most of the Big 12 North teams, Missouri.
Yeah, reignite some of those.
I don't know. I don't feel it.
Well, I think it would be very beneficial for Nebraska to reignite that thing because
they suck.
They aren't very good, and you can tell people it's an SEC win.
Yeah, no, not really.
It is an SEC win if you beat them.
I guess so, but not really. The SEC doesn't accept Missouri.
No. Isn't that so weird?
Yeah.
They went to this conference, and even your own conference doesn't take you as a serious member.
Yeah, it's tough. I suppose it's sort of how it feels here a little bit sometimes.
No, the Big Ten loves us, and we love them. Never had an issue.
I don't really miss Missouri all that much. I don't. Has Nebraska played Missouri in anything? I mean, definitely haven't played them in football. I'm talking about in the last, 12 years since they've been gone.
Since you've been gone?
Since you've been gone.
That's Sip's favorite song.
I haven't played them in football, obviously. I don't recall them playing in basketball. They've played K-State and Kansas and Colorado. Colorado, I guess, on an exhibition. They've played a whole bunch of other Big 12s. I don't think they played Missouri really in anything. They have a series with them in baseball once or twice. I don't remember that either. It's just gone. Just sort of wiped off the face of the earth. Missouri's in Arkansas now. Just out there. All right, we'll come back. Some NFL thoughts leading into the weekend. We get you ready for Super Wild Card Weekend and more next year on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys? Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Listen to the Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot-around and overtime shows. The Creighton men's basketball pregame and postgame shows on 1620 The Zone. The Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot-around and overtime shows are also presented by Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and more, by Barry Law, by Union Bank and Trust, and by DJ's Dugout. Before and after each Creighton game, exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone, 1620 The Zone mobile app, and 1620thezone.com.
Duck Defense Midwest makes your home healthier and improves the life of your HVAC system. So improve the health of your home and everyone in it. Go to cleanairradio.com for a special duct cleaning offer for Zone listeners. That's cleanairradio.com.
There's no other way to say it. Divorce is a punch to the stomach.
Brent Rasmussen of Mortgage Specialists.
When you're going through a divorce, there are so many things to deal with. Aside from the emotional aspects, the financial issues that go along with a divorce can be just as difficult. You'd think buying a house while you're going through a divorce would be out of the question, but not in all cases. Many lenders will tell you that isn't possible, but Mortgage Specialists helps people who are going through a divorce on a regular basis. Just ask Jody McGill.
We always try to partner our clients with other professionals to help guide them through the difficulties of making decisions during that process. And Brent was very knowledgeable about what can be done, when it can be done, and how it can be done best.
Whatever the goal, Mortgage Specialists can help you reach it. Mortgage Specialists, driven, trusted, reliable.
Click mtg-specialists.com. NMLS number 5918, Equal Housing Lender.
Creighton coverage on the Zone is presented by Barry Law. At Barry Law, we fight alongside those who choose to fight back. Call Barry Law at 402-999-7777 or visit BarryLawFirm.com. At Barry Law, we're in it to win it.
Omaha hockey is back in action when they welcome Minnesota Duluth to Baxter Arena tonight. Pregame is at 7 p.m. Puck drops at 7:36. It's UNO versus Minnesota Duluth tonight on your home for Maverick Hockey. News Talk 1290 Coil.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
1620 The Zone will be on location Friday, January 27th at the American Cancer Society's Hope Lodge, Nebraska. Stop by and drop off a donation of paper products, gift cards, or cash. Listen to 1620 The Zone and visit cancer.org/pinkout.
Early in the show, we brought you a story out of Dallas. Not just the fact that Matt Rule's hiring everybody from the state of Texas, but the Dallas Zoo is on a bit of a lockdown right now. They're not open today.
It's not open. Lockout,
I suppose. Thank you. Because they're trying to locate a leopard that got out of its cage. The last update came 3 hours and 1 minute ago. The leopard has not been located, at least to our knowledge.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah. Not sure what's going on down there.
They need to find this leopard. I think that goes without saying, but
also Josh has created a Photoshop. You can find that at Happer Show on Twitter.
The leopard has escaped.
He's gotten to the train, apparently. Also, I want to give a quick shout out to Josh because he's been having to handle all the phone calls over the last couple days regarding us being off, unfortunately being off the air. There was one about 3 or 4 calls ago where he answered the phone. He usually answers, if you usually call 951-1620, you'll get Josh, and Josh will say 1620, and you'll say whatever take you're going to have. This time he answered the phone and said, 1620, we know we're off the air due to scheduled maintenance, and just wondered how that one would land. And go ahead, you can describe what you got back on the other line.
I think that made the caller even more mad because I knew what was going to happen. I anticipated the caller's needs and immediately helped them before they could say a word. I don't know why that would anger them. So
I think they just wanted to get it out. They want to say, where are you guys? Why aren't you on air? This is total BS. And some people just want to call and vent. So you completely cut them off, and it actually made them more triggered.
I popped that balloon.
Yeah. So, the strategy going forward for Josh is still going to be, I think, just let him vent.
Yeah. Let him get it out.
Answer the question. We hope to be back soon.
Sure do.
We hope to be back soon.
Sure do.
We absolutely do. All right. NFL playoff games for this weekend. We will discuss on the other side. We'll rank them in terms of their watchability, and we'll pick them all against the spread.
Oh, let's go.
Next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Half of your 10 have this little experience going into a league. So to me, it's not about one or two individuals per se, but that's a healthy group of your brain trust that hasn't done it at this level. Now, the one thing that you would anticipate shouldn't be a problem, because Rule has connections and ties directly to each and every one of these guys, is fit.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Cold and quiet to finish off the week Friday. Expect clouds in the morning with more afternoon sunshine. Wind will be light to calm most of the day with highs around 30. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
Saturday, the Blue Jays are back at home as they face defending Big East regular season champion Providence. Pre-game coverage starts with Robbie Lula at 11:30 a.m. Tip-off is at 1. The Blue Jays, Saturday on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $20.10 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/career. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
If you think you're having transmission problems, you need a specialist, someone who can and will tell you exactly what's wrong. At Omaha Transmission, that's what we do. Some places just want to sell you a new transmission, but at Omaha Transmission, we make repairs that other shops can't or won't. Giving you options is what's kept us in business since 2005. We've even had people hear our ads, bring in their car, and experience the exact same scenario they heard. There is a place that will diagnose and fix your transmission. That place is Omaha Transmission.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You've got options when you shop pre-owned with Woodhouse. Over 1,000 cars, trucks, and SUVs inspected and road ready, with a team ready to tackle all your needs and wants to get you the perfect vehicle. Plus, with financing options and extended warranty coverage options, Woodhouse makes purchasing your next vehicle an easy one-stop shop in dealership or online, bringing you more every time since 1975. Shop Woodhouse.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Football fans, call your own plays during the NFL playoffs with FanDuel. It is America's #1 sportsbook, because when you bet NFL same-game parlays from now through January 16th, all customers can get up to $100 in free bets, win or lose. Nick, all you have to do is place a total of $20 or more on NFL same-game parlay or same-game parlay plus bets during the wild card round. And you know what? The more you bet, the more you'll get back in free bets.
Yeah, NFL same-game parlays are the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at a larger payday. How about that big Monday night matchup between Dak and Tom Brady? Build your own or choose from one of our popular SGPs pre-built for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. New to FanDuel Sportsbook, you can also get up to $100 in free bets, win or lose when signing up with promo code ZONE. That's promo code ZONE. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in Iowa. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet $100. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbookfanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Chris in Montana says, bring back the Missouri rivalry. You'll have old dudes with canes and walkers smacking each other in the elevators on the way to their suites. All right. Bring back the Missouri rivalry. Trev, get on it.
He's listening. I mean, not now because we're not on the radio, but, you know.
He's probably going to listen from the app anyway in Lincoln.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Trev's got the app. Wild card weekend. NFL wildcard weekend. We have 3 bad games and 3 interesting games. That's how it's
a good way
split.
to put it, yeah.
So if we're ranking them in terms of watchability from back to front, unanimously, the Buffalo-Miami game is last, right? It's the least watchable game.
Yeah, I would say so. Even with the intrigue of DeMar Hamlin, still last.
Second least watchable game this weekend. Baltimore and Cincinnati, no Lamar Jackson. Possibly no Tyler Huntley.
Correct.
Third least watchable game this weekend. Seattle and San Francisco. No injuries really to think about here. We just think that San Francisco is a whole lot better.
Yeah, agree.
And then there's 3 more games.
Mm-hmm. We're going up a tier.
All between teams who either shouldn't be in the playoffs or have not been very good recently. Not been very good recently. Teams would include the Minnesota Vikings and the Dallas Cowboys. The other teams probably just don't look like playoff teams, really. Maybe the Giants are in the middle range somewhere. Okay, let's rank these. I believe that the most intriguing game this weekend, the most watchable game this weekend, is not the Dallas-Tampa Bay game, as everybody thinks.
Oh, that's what I think.
It is not that for me.
Okay.
I think the most intriguing game this weekend is Giants and Vikings. Why? Because nobody has any idea what's going to happen. All anybody knows is it's going to be a touchdown game.
Yes, there is that. Absolutely.
If somebody wins this game by more than a touchdown, I will too eat a frog.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, bring me the frog.
If any team wins by more than a touchdown in that game.
In the Giants-Vikings game.
All right.
So 8 or more.
Okay.
I will bring me the frog.
All right, we got it down.
Thank you. I appreciate that. In fact, the Cowboys-Bucks game is not even the second most watchable game this weekend.
What?
It is the Chargers and the Jags. Why? Because it involves the Chargers, who are psychos. We have no idea what's going to happen at any moment. And the upstart Jacksonville Jaguars, who get a night Saturday home game in the playoffs, and their fans are freaking out, losing their minds. They love this team. Who wouldn't love this team? And they get to play Justin Herbert at home in a playoff game. I think that's significant. Now, I know that the Dallas and the Tampa Bay game will get a bigger number than both of those games. Probably both of those games like combined.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
But I don't know that either of those teams are that good.
What's the stat? Trevor Lawrence has never lost on a Saturday.
Trevor
in
Lawrence,
college, pro, or high school.
I like that. That bodes well for the Jags.
It
All
does.
right, let's pick them.
We're picking them.
Here we go. Let's go in chronological order here. So we begin in rainy San Francisco on Saturday afternoon at 3:30.
Supposed to be pretty significant rain too.
Yeah, monsoon.
Yeah.
I mean, we thinking Bears like monsoon?
I mean, it did not go well for the Niners in that last monsoon.
It did not. I don't think it'll be that significant. But here we are. 3:30 Saturday on Fox. The San Francisco 49ers will host the Seattle Seahawks. The Niners are 9.5-point favorites.
Am I going first? I'm sorry. Or was that a dramatic pause?
Dramatic pause.
Okay.
But you can go first.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
9.5.
9.5. 9.5. Maybe you liked it better at 10.5 when you could get it there. 10.
I'm sorry. I want to look up one thing before I make my pick. I'm
All right.
sorry.
I'll pick.
Okay.
Seattle plus 9.5. San Francisco wins the game. It ends up being more interesting than expected. Seattle they're going to try and do the same things that San Francisco is doing and try to run the ball a little bit, even though Geno is, pretty explosive in the pass game. Maybe they hit a couple big plays. San Francisco hits more. They win, but the Seahawks cover the 9.5 points. This game is about a one-score game. How does that sound?
I like that. In the weather like this, I can't say one team's going to run away with it. So I will also go Seattle.
Texter texts in, unnamed texter. We will need video proof of said frog eating.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. That was implied. Thank you for holding us to that.
Don't worry.
But yes.
I'm not going to be eating a frog.
In private.
Who's going to win this? Who's going to win this game by more than a touchdown?
I agree with you that the Vikings have done nothing but play close games all year.
Except for when they got killed by the Packers.
Yeah, but
people forget that.
I mean, you just jumped a level of confidence.
I would eat a frog.
That is great for the show.
Saturday night to Duval, where the not San Diego, Los Angeles Chargers will be visiting the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jags are at home, and they are getting 2.5 points from the Chargers. Chargers are 2.5-point favorites. This game is on NBC Saturday night. Give me Duval to cover the 2.5 and to win outright. Jacksonville on to Kansas City.
These two teams played in LA on September 25th, week 3.
Long time ago.
38-10 Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
I think this will be a shootout. I think this will be entertaining, maybe even bananas. And it hurts my soul to say this, but Trevor Lawrence will win a playoff game.
Hell yeah!
Probably by more than 2 points. Give me the Jags.
Would you sprinkle highest scoring team wildcard weekend, Jacksonville Jaguars plus 1,100?
The winner of this game will be the highest scoring team of the weekend, I think.
The Chargers are plus 700.
Yeah, I like that Jacksonville number.
There is a thought there. Okay, we're both on the Jags.
What was the number 2 or 2.5?
We are at 2.5 now.
Okay, I'm writing these down.
Yeah, this is important.
I log things on the show now.
That's right. You do. Game number 3, Sunday afternoon at noon. You roll out of bed, you make some breakfast, and you watch to see what Damar Hamlin is doing, but you're not watching for the game. The Bills are at home against the Miami Dolphins, and that number has grown and ballooned after the announcement of Tua being out. The proper announcement, by the way, of Tua being out. His brain is mush. The Bills are 13.5-point favorites at home. This will be broadcast on CBS. Poor CBS.
Poor Tony Romo.
Poor Jim Nantz and Tony Romo. They got one game this weekend, and it was this crap. Why don't you go first on this one?
I mean, we don't have to break this down very much. Give me Buffalo. You could put a lot of numbers in front of me, and I would take Buffalo.
2 touchdowns?
Yeah. I think at 17 points, you begin to call the dogs off and be like, okay, let's just run it up the middle and get to the next round healthy.
Do I want Miami to cover? I do.
I mean, you want a close
Make it
game. You want to watch a good game.
I can't do it though. I can't do it. I mean, Josh Allen is definitely good for a bad pick a game at least. But Miami's not going to score. I mean, what's Miami's team total here? I suppose I could look that up right now.
What is that? I was going to look up that yesterday when I was in my parking lot like an animal in Council Bluffs.
I am going to find that for you right now.
And then I forgot to do it.
So now we have to do it live on the air.
Yeah.
That happens sometimes.
It's got to be 6.5, right? Maybe 9.5.
There's so many options on our friends from the FanDuel Sportsbook.
Promo code Happer.
I don't know. Get back to me later. Game stuff, fourth quarter, game specials, buy and sell points, totals. Here we go. Dolphins total points, 13.5.
Yeah, give me the under on that.
You get the under at plus money, plus 100.
Okay.
Straight up.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. Yeah, Buffalo, minus 13.5 for sure. Amazing Daniel tweets and he says 10-1 that one of the unwatchable games ends up being the most entertaining contest of the week. Guarantee it.
Sure.
Yeah, lock that in. There's
usually the way this happens.
There's little to no doubt about it. We move to Sunday afternoon at 3:30. And my game of the weekend, Giants, Vikings. This game will be broadcast on Fox. The Giants are 3-point underdogs on the road in Minnesota. I've changed my mind on this game 45 times.
I don't like this.
It doesn't even matter who I pick. I know I'm going to be wrong. Don't bet this in a million years.
Stay away.
Yep.
Avoid like the plague.
Give me the G-men. Dayball. Dayballs plus 3.
Okay, I was going to do that too, but you know what? We need to be on opposite sides. Give me the Vikings.
And honestly, I didn't even pick it until it came out of my mouth. All right. Yeah, give me the G-men. And I feel very confident about it, of course.
Love the Vikings.
The Sunday night game will be on NBC, and it will feature the Cincinnati Bengals getting a visit from the Baltimore Ravens. The Bengals are 8.5-point favorites. Bengals cover, set it and forget it.
Yeah, Bengals cover, set it and forget it. They are very angry, and they will take it out on their division rival.
They don't want to talk about coin flips anymore. Lamar's not playing. At least we don't have official confirmation on that, but it's not looking like he didn't practice yesterday. He hasn't practiced in more than a month. Bengals win, and that will be the story of that one. And we will finish on Monday. A lot of buzz for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Monday night, ABC, ESPN. You can watch it on both of them. The Cowboys are 2.5-point favorites on the road in sweaty Tampa.
This is fascinating because there are two massive narratives.
Mm-hmm. Dallas. Screw Tampa.
God, they looked so
Screw
bad.
Tampa. Screw them. No, I am not here for this buzz on them going to the NFC title game or going to the Super Bowl. No. Dallas. They're better. They're just better. Screw Tom Brady. Come on, join me. Join me. Tampa! God, I hate it! Ugh. That's horrible. That's grounds for kicking you off the show. You're done.
Remember the last time you watched the Cowboys play football?
Yeah. But I will admit my season-long biases are showing here. But yeah, give me Dallas.
Buccaneers are so bad though, and Tom's gonna go, well, here I am.
It's not fun.
Nobody believed in me.
Those are our wild card weekend picks, which are all sure to be wrong.
And Connor's gonna eat frog legs on Monday's show.
I'm gonna eat a frog. Text line, by the way, same guy who said we needed video proof says, sometimes the Lord makes us put the frog where our mouth is. And I'm going to put that on our text line Twitter account because it lacks so much context that it's one of the craziest things I've ever seen. We will come back and we'll round up the show with our poll questions, tell you what to watch this weekend next on 1620 The Zone.
The Super Wildcard round of the NFL playoffs kicks off with a special Saturday doubleheader. Hi, this is Scott Graham. Join me and the rest of our Westwood One crew for all the action. First, the Seattle Seahawks take on their NFC West rivals, the San Francisco 49ers. Then it's the Chargers and Jaguars from Jacksonville. Coverage begins at 4 p.m. Eastern. From the Wildcard round all the way to Super Bowl 57 in Arizona, the NFL playoffs are right here.
If it's the NFL, it's on 1620 The Zone.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep your operation running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, Maria in Miami, and Jules in Troy, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with high-quality supplies for every industry, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
News Talk 1290 is the new home for Omaha Maverick women's basketball all season long. Don't miss any of the Maverick action as they try to make their mark on the Summit League this season. Omaha Mavericks women's basketball is on News Talk 1290.
Here's this week's Maverick Minute. For the second time this season, the Maverick women's basketball team has won 3 games in a row after topping St. Thomas 80-77 in overtime last Saturday. It's the first time the Omaha women have beaten 3 consecutive Summit League opponents since the 2013-14 season. And finally, this weekend, Maverick hockey is back home taking on Minnesota Duluth. And that's your Maverick Minute on your home for the Mavs. News Talk 1290, 1180 The Zone, and 1620 The Zone.
Creighton coverage on The Zone is presented by Berry Law. At Berry Law, we fight alongside those who choose to fight back. Call Berry Law at 402-999-7777 or visit BerryLawFirm.com. At Berry Law, we're in it to win it.
All right, welcome back. Officially, the Ravens have ruled out Lamar Jackson. He will miss his 6th straight game. And now we have to wonder, have we seen the last of Lamar in Baltimore? Sure feels like it. Sure feels like it.
It really does. They don't seem...
There's just a lot going on there. No, they don't seem particularly happy that he hasn't played.
Yeah, they don't seem sad that he's out.
Yeah,
like
Lamar's always been vague. You know, he's always throwing out like cryptic tweets on Twitter and stuff like that. Like, yeah,
you know, if a team was missing their starting quarterback for a playoff game against a division rival, they'd probably be like, "Oh, I just feel real bad for our guy. He, fought all year to get here." You're not hearing that.
They were in the divisional chase for the last month.
Yeah,
like the entire month that he's missed, and it's just been like, nope.
And when he went down, they were kind of like, "Well, he'll be."
Yeah.
He tweaked it. He'll be back.
Odd.
And then he just doesn't come back.
Really, really odd. Basketball games for this weekend. Josh will talk about them both in what we are watching this weekend. Creighton gets Providence at home. Am I going to declare it a must win?
I don't know. Are you?
I haven't decided yet.
Ooh.
But it's damn close.
I say yes.
Have to beat good teams at home when you get the chance, and there's just not that many chances. They're still going to get UConn at home. They're still going to get Xavier at home. Providence has ripped off a whole bunch of wins in a row. They've beaten good teams. Their metrics are good right now. Get this win tomorrow. Even though we have so much respect for Ed Cooley.
So much.
I have so much respect for Ed Cooley.
And so does like 70% of the audience.
Yep. The Jays, by the way, this is from Rob Anderson's notes, are playing their 7th ranked opponent of the season. This will be the first ranked opponent to come to the Chi.
71.1% of the audience, to be exact, has respect for Ed Cooley.
You can't even quantify how much respect I have for Ed Cooley.
But he's going down.
Yep. They need it bad. We're bumping right up against must-win territory. No, screw it. Must win.
Oh, we talked him into it.
Win the damn game, please. It's very important that you do so. Nebraska on the road at Mackey tonight, where Ken Pom gives them a 9% chance to win. And no Juwan Gary. They've walked into the building in the danger zone.
I got a feeling about this one.
What?
I thought I had danger zone up here. I don't.
Oh yeah, they're already in it. They are in a world of pain.
This has one of those where, oh yeah, Nebraska's playing. Let me check the score. Oh, they've only scored 18 points.
Yeah. Goo. That's what's going to happen. So any result that's not that tonight would be a win tonight for Nebraska basketball. And they'll return on Wednesday to play another good team, Ohio State, at home. But Ohio State, weirdly, has now lost 3 in a row, including to Minnesota at home last night.
Yeah. Some of us saw easy money and took Ohio State to win.
Very, very odd. Full questions leading into the weekend. We head back to the beginning of the show when we were talking about the following. Do I know ska? Of course I do. I proclaimed it.
Yeah.
61% say that I don't, though.
Oh, erroneous.
Can you fry a quarter and eat it? I think you can. Yes, of course.
If I may, just real quick.
Sure.
Today's a perfect day for poll questions because we're not on the radio.
Right.
So a lot of people have
nobody knows the
zero context for these.
91% say no, by the way. You can't fry
that is
a quarter.
true. You cannot. Don't do that.
Would you pay $67 for the right to dance, as they have to do in Sweden? No, absolutely not. 90% agree, or 89% agree. Are leopards dangerous?
Hell yes.
Yes, absolutely they are. Still nothing from the Dallas Zoo, by the way. 91% say yes. And 2 more. Do you miss Adrian Beltre? Yeah, I miss Adrian Beltre. 62% don't, though.
Sad.
And finally, do you remember the 1985 Nebraska-Missouri game? Nope, I do not. I was not on this earth.
I was in a stranger's house as my parents were watching it from Columbia, Missouri.
Kind of a shocking response. 93% say no. They don't remember.
Really?
I thought we'd get a little more than that.
This audience remembers every Nebraska game. I'm often made to feel dumb because I don't remember every quarter of every Nebraska game.
Interesting. Those are the poll questions. Josh, what are we watching?
We are watching the National Football League Super Wild Card Weekend. We went through it in the last segment, so I'm not going to run it all down here for you now. Al Michaels on the call Saturday night on NBC.
Hell yeah.
They worked out a deal.
He's back.
Broadcaster emeritus on NBC, so they're like, oh, that counts. We can use him. NBA tonight, 6:30 on ESPN. Warriors, Spurs on ESPN Live from the Alamo Dome. The NBA will break their attendance record tonight. Do you know the old attendance record, Connor?
For a single game? 40,000.
62,046 for the Bulls and Hawks, 1998 in the Georgia Dome.
Cool.
So we're going to break that record tonight. That's
Sweet.
Cool. No Nikola Jokic for the Nuggets as they travel to Staples to face the Clippers, 9 o'clock on ESPN tonight. And another NBA game tomorrow at noon on ABC, Bucks Heat. College basketball, Nebraska at Purdue tonight on BTN. Providence at Creighton, 1 o'clock start on FS1. Coverage here begins at 11:30, I believe, if I am correct in that. I'm pretty sure I am. North Dakota State at Omaha tomorrow at noon at Baxter Arena. You can watch it there or listen to Gary on 1290 with the call there. Kentucky at number 5 Tennessee, 11 a.m. tomorrow on ESPN. Number 14 Iowa State against number 2 Kansas, 3 p.m. Saturday on ESPN Plus.
Oh,
that is right. 2 ranked teams are playing each other, and it is on ESPN Plus.
Oh,
and finally, HBO Sunday night, 8 o'clock, The Last of Us, based on the popular video game. I don't know. I've never heard of it. Joel and Ellie, a pair connected through the harshness of the world they live in, are forced to endure brutal circumstances and ruthless killers on a trek across a post-outbreak America. That's a new show. People are excited.
Here's one fun, weird NBA note as we send you into the crossover here. Mac McClung,
great name,
who is basically became a YouTube sensation because he would, do kind of crazy dunks at high school, ended up at Georgetown, transferred, had a weird, mediocre college career.
Okay.
Ended up in the G League. He is now in the G League, and he will be participating in the slam dunk contest. He will be the first G League player in the dunk contest.
Oh, so he's going to be trying really hard.
That's right.
And the NBA players will not be.
Yep.
Okay, I see what's happening here.
There you go. There's your news from Shams to end the show. Josh, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend. Happy
as well.
betting to everyone as well. We are done for today. If you missed anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. Crossover is next.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio.